Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody, and welcome once again to another installment of Game Masters. I am your host, Fant_TV. This is a show all about showcasing expertise in all things video games and video game adjacent or speedrunning adjacent. So, without further ado, we have Majora's Mask Randomizer once again coming back for another showcase here, and this time here to run through the Season 4 rule set is none other than Vidya James, one of the best to do it. How are you doing, friend?
Hey, how's it going? Doing well.
I'm so ready for this. Like, I love Rando because every single time I see it, I feel like so much has changed. Like, either with like cosmetics or what has been done with the interface. It's been like such an awesome randomizer that has evolved so much. Now, Season 4 settings, I currently am a little familiar with them, but for our audience who may not be, can you give us a brief rundown of, some of the options that are turned on today?
Yeah, so just briefly, it is a randomizer, so as opposed to a normal playthrough, all the chests and all the overworld items are shuffled in the pool. So I open a chest, I might open the bow chest and find fire arrows. I might open just a random rupee chest and, oh, there's my Goron mask, stuff like that. And kind of the idea behind it is just this giant logic puzzle that you kind of have to figure out as you're piecing together where everything is placed, because there is a lot of rules to it, a lot of basically logic rules, we call them, that we'll get into when we actually do the seed. But what's unique to Season 4 settings, so we start with Song of Time, Epona Song, and Song of Soaring are the three starting songs. We don't do chest fairy shuffles anymore. So in the temples, there's all these chest fairies that are no longer shuffled. And this is meant to kind of balance the dungeons. Other than that, it's kind of this perfect blend of past seasons. So if you're familiar with Season 2, it's kind of close to that with Epona Start and a couple other things. For the most part, it's going to be a fairly standard playthrough of a randomizer. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know, so for those who don't know, each of the 4 dungeons in Majora's Mask has 15 fairies that you need to find. Some of them are like free-floating, and some of them are located in chests. And there's a lot of them, so it really definitely did sway so much into the favor of dungeons there. And the game is already pretty densely packed. So
yeah, absolutely.
I'm interested to see how that's gonna affect things. So I know when I played this, I was always rushing into the dungeons trying to get everything. But going back a little bit, so Rando has been a focus for you for something around 3 years now. And I'm just curious, how has the randomizer changed in your tenure with the game? And as well as your approach to completing seeds, all the new tech you've learned, it must have been so much has happened if you just go back in time to where this all started.
Yeah, so I started playing Rando right around middle of 2020. The first race I ever entered was actually a qualifier for Season 1. So every year we do a tournament called Season 1 through 4. But yeah, the first race I ever entered was a Season 1 qual. And I had a lot of fun. I got owned, as you would expect. It did not go well for me. But I grinded a lot, and I somehow managed to make it into the bracket, which was top 24 at that point. So I was pretty proud of myself for getting that good that quickly. And then since then, it's kind of become a huge pastime for me over the last couple of years. And it all kind of culminated earlier this summer. We were all together at SGDQ 2023, where Spike did Blitz settings at the marathon at the live event, which was really cool.
Right.
Yeah, it was the first time Rando had been on the big stage like that, which was really cool to see. And it was awesome to kind of talk about it and showing off to so many people. And I'm happy to continue that and show it off to all you guys tonight.
Yeah. I can't wait to get, and I have one more question for you before we get into it. And this is more of a question for me because I have the biggest problem with this. And how do you just keep straight all the different time sensitive stuff that is absolutely critical, anywhere you route in this game? Is that something you kind of just gotten naturally over many seas, or did it require a conscious effort to plan out how all these interactions work within the game?
I mean, it's always going to be one of the huge difficulty points of the randomizer, and it's not present in a lot of other things. People often compare it to Ocarina of Time randomizer, which doesn't have a time limit in the same way. But it is something that I've been playing this game my whole life, basically. and you kind of get a sense for it. Like even casually, I was like learning how to route stuff and fit in as much as I could into a single cycle, and that's no different in the randomizer. Like you kind of just are fully conscious of like how long something takes and how long you can, or like how much you are able to do in a certain amount of time. And that's something you just kind of get a natural feel for as you play the game more and more. So.
Oh, that's super insane. I think I just need to play more.
That is
get better at the game. Yeah.
Just play a lot.
Anyway, everybody, be sure to stick around for this. It's going to be an incredible run, but I don't want to keep you, Vidya, from the action any longer. So let's go ahead and move over and get ready to start the seed. And like, it's good that you mentioned the GDQ run because we kind of have a reunion of the entire couch here because Gothic is also here to provide some awesome, insightful commentary for the MM run. Hello, Gothic. Hi.
Hello. Hi, everyone. I'm Gothic Zelda. And yeah, I've been playing MMR for about 4 years or so. I play a lot of all sanities, watch the races and stuff. It's great. So this should be a fun run.
Heck yeah, it's going to be. All right, Vidya, whenever you are ready, go ahead, give us a countdown.
All right, I'll count you in. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Okay.
Awesome.
All right. So to start off the seed, there is a kind of a concept of openers that you kind of have to get used to. There's a couple of time-sensitive checks that are what we call Sphere 0. So Sphere 0 just means you're able to get it right away. Sphere 1 means you need one required item in order to get it, and so on and so forth. Sphere 0 items are very important because the importance algorithm that places the items tends to put more important items in lower spheres, so you don't want to be skipping lower sphere stuff. So my opener is kind of designed to get to some of the more time-sensitive checks as soon as possible, and you'll see that in a sec, but right now I'm going to
magic up there?
That is magic. That's a nice little starting item to have there. We'll take that, and we're going to do a trick here. This tingle, normally you need to have a projectile, but you can just gonna jump slash at him and check the items here. It will say what items are shuffled onto him, so we'll see. I can only buy the 1 for 5. We'll see what it is. Okay, neither of those are important, so I'm just going to ignore those. And now would be a great time, I think, to talk about logic and item placement. Because what I did there is what we call out of logic. It's not something the seeded will ever expect me to do. It's within the rule set, the standard racing rule set, but it's not something that the seed is going to hard require. So if there was an item like a bow or a hookshot there, something that would have been like required to do it, then I know that's not going to be my first projectile. I know there's going to be another projectile that's accessible somewhere else in the seed. So I can kind of use, through that, I can kind of use process of elimination to narrow down where certain checks are.
Is a projectile required to come back here?
Yes,
or
this is
that the backflip's not in standard?
Yeah, that's another good example.
Normally you gotta shoot the Skull Kid balloon in North Clocktown and then play the game with the bombers and get the code. It expects you to do that. But yeah, we can just jump over him. He's not very tall, so we're good.
Mm-hmm. All right. So what I'm doing is an opener that is, it's not very creatively named. It's called Observatory Opener because you start by going to the observatory. There is a reason for doing this, and it's mostly this scrub here. I do later on in this opener, I'm going to be running all the way around Termina Field, and it's very convenient to set up that scrub so he appears in his grotto. He sells you an item. Normally, I think it's just a heart piece in the normal game. You see he's about to get into the grotto, so I can just check it when he gets there. But this also kills enough time for the inn to open at 8 a.m. And the inn's going to be very important because not only is there a way to advance time, but there's also one of the most time-sensitive checks in the game is the room key reservation, which is only available from 1:50 until 4 p.m. on day 1. So that is one of the things that this opener is like strictly designed around, is getting that. Letter to Cafe has a required land title deed. All right.
Wow.
That was a very funny hint. So, yeah. So, oh, there you go. There's a funny sound effect whenever I soar.
So a fun thing with this, with MMR, you've got to keep track of the time, right?
Yeah.
With Letter to Cafe, the latest you can turn it into the mailbox is, I think, 11:45 on the second day.
Yeah.
The mailbox that's like in front of the laundry pool. So we're really gonna hope when we find Letter to Cafe, it's like before that time and not after, or maybe on a different cycle or something. It'll be interesting to route around that, but at least we know.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna just advance time through Granny here and get myself to somewhere in that time period I mentioned between 150 and 4, and that'll give me the room key check. And from there, we'll just advance on. I'll quickly go to night 1, and then there's another time-sensitive check. If you remember, in North Clocktown, there is Thakon who attacks the old lady, and you need to be in North Clocktown at around 12:20 a.m. on night 1. See, that's why we don't skip. That's why we don't skip room key. That's why we don't skip room key.
Let's go, Anju.
Yeah. And so that is going to be my first logical projectile. So that puts the bottle into logic that I got in observatory. So now I don't need to pay attention to bottle logic as much. But yeah, let's go set up the bombers now, as I can. Right. But yeah. So another thing to mention with Letter to Cafe is that it is one of the only checks in the game where if you do another thing in the cycle, which is save the grandma, then you actually lock yourself out of the last 2 checks. And as that hint said, the last check, the third check that you get from it is going to be the required one. So I need to be sure to not do Letter to Cafe and Last Match check on the same cycle. So I'm hoping I don't get Letter to Cafe until like well into my next cycle, so I can just do Granny right away, but we'll see how that goes. Also, you can shoot the little kids there and get them. It's kind of cruel, but it's way faster.
You know, I love so much how they just take it. It's like, oh, yep, you got me. It's like, no, you didn't cheat or anything like you would have in the conventional game. Like, no, they're just there, yeah.
Wait, you can crouch on top of those? I learned that today.
There you go.
Oh my gosh.
And that is...
Thank you.
I forgot something. I don't need to remember to go do that. But yeah, you can... That's a little bit of money routing I'm doing. I'll have to pay attention to that later because...
All Night's Mass.
I do not want to do that just yet. That's nice to have. I'll do that on day 2. That's gonna... If I were to do that right now, it's gonna advance time in a way that's gonna be unfavorable to how I'm routing this whole thing, so I'm just gonna not.
So a nice setting that's on for the race settings is chest matches contents. So
Yes.
There's 3 different chests you can find in MMR. There's the brown ones, which are just going to be junk. So like ammo refills, heart pieces go in there. Anything that would like, yeah, it's a junk check. And then there's 2 different gilded chests, the gold ones. The smaller gilded chests have like main items that like would go away when you reset time normally. So any bottle refills, if we had stray fairies randomized or skulls, they would be in a small gold chest. And then the big gold chests have like actual main items. So it's fun because you can like, if there's a chest you can see, you can tell right away without having to go out of your way to get it if it's worth doing or not.
And it's... yeah, so this is something I know there's going to be an important item in this chest, and it creates this interesting dynamic with how you like look at chests. Like if there's a chest you can see from far away, there's actually strats to see what's in it. That's just a bean.
Beans.
Don't really care about that too much, but sure, take it. We'll see. The bean might come into play later.
Every time I see like these little tiny movement optimizations, like that side hop onto the stairs, it's like, oh, I never thought of that. I never thought of that.
Love of that. And that's something that's exclusive to MM. They didn't have that in OOT, and it's just, I love that they added it specifically for MM. It makes the movement just a little bit more fluid. All right, so now we're gonna go.
One thing that you may not understand just by watching Majora's Mask and Ocarina of Time, because, you know, the same engine, same console, a lot of the models are just like a little bit touched up here and there. But, you know, hey, Guru, that's the same guy that's in OOT, just a little bit prettier. It actually controls quite differently and feels quite a bit different from OOT. In terms of how Z targeting works, how the movement works, how backwalking works, it all is just ever so slightly different. To make it like an entirely different experience. I
could ramble on for hours over some of the subtle differences in these games, but That's a conversation for another day. But yeah, it makes it.
Doesn't something happen at critical health?
Yes. When you're at critical health, the camera zooms in and gets all like weird and angled, and it makes it so like you can't really walk straight. It's really weird. I don't really fully understand how it's supposed to work, but it does end up making things a little bit difficult if you're at low health. There's a similar mechanic in OT, but it's much less pronounced than it is in MM. So yeah, we're gonna buy this. This is a single check. This item only gets me one thing, but it's right next door to where we are, so I might as well get it now.
Yeah, and that check's gonna go away once we save the bomb lady too, because it gets replaced with the big bomb bag in vanilla. So that item, you can only buy it before you save her or like next cycle because it's gonna change. So yeah, good to get that there, and they're right here.
Love this dance.
So this is
so much.
a nice little water break. There's a nice little moment to pause in the run. Like there's not too much going on.
Yeah, but you know what? You know what's even better? I could squeeze in an announcement because GDQX, everybody, is back and will be live from TwitchCon October 20th to the 22nd. The event will take place on the GDQ stage, while it's streamed live right here on our Twitch channel. So use !GDQX in Twitch chat, find out more info, and check out the games list, which is available. So you can see all the awesome runs that are coming up.
See what
Awesome.
The mask is so weird.
Piece.
This game is still so weird. It's strange.
It sure is.
Right.
But
we love it for that.
So we got.
So another thing that I don't think got mentioned yet, we have custom music in MMR. For those who haven't seen Majora's Mask Randomizer before, there are a ton of songs that the community has made that work with the MM sound font. Like this works on real hardware. You can play it on an EverDrive if you want. But yeah, there's tons of songs from different games, and it's really fun to add it to your randomizer because on top of having all your items and stuff shuffled, there's Letter to Cafe.
That is like the perfect time to find that because right now I'm trying to essentially route around that and Blast Mask Lady. And what I can do here is I can mail Letter to Cafe right now and then make it night. I'll be on night 3 when I get the required land title deed.
More bottles.
Yeah. Actually, hold on.
All right.
Hold on a sec here. I may want to hold off on advancing time. I might just want to skip Granny for now because the land title deed is going to be required for one of two things. It's either going to be trading it in or whatever is on top of the roof in the Southern Swamp. And I might not be able to get that if I don't have Deku Mask. So that's actually something...
Oh, yeah. I didn't think of that.
I may want to safeguard my red a bit. Either that or what I can do, here's a better idea. We forget about Letter to Cafe for right now. And we just, we do the opener as normal, and then we can go back and get Letter to Cafe whenever we want. I think that's probably a safer way to route this, such that, you know, I can protect myself against anything weird happening with that sort of logic. Anyway, let's get a bunch of hits.
That's an easy spot, too.
Yeah, it's a very easy spot to just reset and go back to. All right, Fisherman dead. Graveyard's Way of the Hero.
Graveyard Woth.
All right, so Way of the Hero, or Woth as we call it, essentially just means there's going to be a required item in that region that we need to complete the seed. So we need to pay attention to our Woth regions. We already got a bow and stockpot in, so I'm not too worried about that until I find a bow somewhere else. But
we did get all Knight's Math pretty early though, so it wouldn't surprise me if the seed just trolled you with the bow. Because with the bow, there's 3 upgrades, so there's a chance that that's not the required bow. We might find another one not locked behind a bow. So yeah, there could be more in the end. There's a couple other checks. There's a Sphere 0 one on night 3 because the staff room's open. There's a chest in there. There's the room key 1. There's Toilet Hand, which is in Logic. And then the 2 Grandma checks.
Nice. There's a lot of things in Stockpot in, so I'm not going to pay too much attention to that bow right now, but I'll definitely rush the other Stockpot in checks when I can.
I just love how in this universe the higher valued money is just so much bigger.
Oh yeah.
Like imagine just walking into a store like, all right, I got my wheelbarrow full of cash. Let's go.
I mean, I guess
that's
kind of how coins work, I suppose, right? The bigger coins. In Canada, we have a $2 coin called a toonie, and it's huge. It's absolutely massive.
I know like we have like the dollar coins that are just slightly bigger than a quarter in the US, but I don't think I've seen the $2 Canadian money. What is that,
Let's
like
see.
12 cents?
Yeah, exactly. It's 12 US, yeah. All right.
Pretty much.
So a couple more hints that I can route in here, and there's going to be another chest peek coming up in just a little bit. And that's just aliens and Premia's carriage, so don't need to worry about that.
Are you writing these hints down, or is it just going into your massive brain?
I am writing them down. My brain is not that massive. So that's a big chest there. I could see the gold outline, so I know there's going to be a major item there. Might not be required, but always good to remember that. Also, yeah, this is Animal Crossing. It's a little quiet, but it's Animal Crossing rain music, which is very nice for the night.
Nice.
Yeah, all this music is like, it's not just like they take a MIDI file and just drop it into the game, right?
No.
So, you know, you may be able to do something. They go through and like, these are custom, like handmade arrangements of these tracks specifically for the MM Sound Fund. Like a lot of effort goes into every single one of these. So I just wanted to say, whoever makes these, I know there's a couple people who do it. I want to just name one person. Thank you so much. We appreciate the effort. It's all so wonderful.
Yes.
What do you got
For
for me,
sure.
bud? Oh, he's got a bomb bag.
Bomb bag.
So this
Too
is...
bad you don't have a wallet.
I do not have a wallet, so we'll have to remember that, write that down, and come back later. All right, so time of day is a little bit not where I want it to be. We still got quite a bit of time before Grandma, so I'll have to make up something. All right, so that's where the bean might come into handy, is that stump chest is also something schmassive, so we'll run with that.
Massive. That's a good word.
Some sticks here. I think I have enough time to walk over and hit the Milk Road Owl, so I'll go do that, and then we should be good to time Granny. Okay, nothing in Swamp Spider House. It's also...
What time does like second actually hit her? Is it 12:15 or
It
like
is-
12:10 or something?
It is 12:20 on the clock. It's when the bottom of the sun icon is aligned with, like, you see like the bottom of the T in the word first.
Yeah. Oh,
It's
okay.
when the sun is aligned with like the very bottom of the T. And
Gotcha.
you need to be in North Clock Town after, like, once the grandma appears. She appears at midnight. And if you enter North Clock Town at midnight and then leave, I'm just not going to bother with Tinkle for right now. There's not enough time. I don't want to risk it.
Does she just despawn?
Yeah, so if I were to enter North Clock Town and leave, then she would despawn, and then you'd be locked out of the check until next cycle.
Also, I learned last year, never shoot Sakon with arrows.
No, he will blow up and he will
He,
die.
he literally blows up and is reduced to atoms.
If you do that as
I had a
well,
laughing fit
also,
for a good 3 minutes the first time that happened.
It's so funny when you do it and you don't know. I think most people who have played Rando have tried that. Because if you don't have a sword,
Oh yeah,
you
that's
can't
how I
hit
found
him.
out.
Yeah. You can hit him with a sword or with Goron or Zora punches, but not Zora boomerangs. I've also made that mistake. I've been like, I got Zora mask, I can do it, and I just like held it and didn't think, and then by second. But yeah, that also locks you out of the letter to Cafe stuff because he dies, so Cafe still never sees him and follows him because he died.
It actually has so many consequences. It's unbelievable.
There's one thing here with a sword game. This is another MM exclusive technique. If you spin the stick as you land from a jump slash, you actually cancel the landing animation. So you see here, I can start walking again right away. So you just need to spin your stick, and it's not entirely useful for this minigame because, I mean, these are on a set timer anyway, but it's still, nice to do, and you should be doing it whenever you jump slash. Yeah, it's like
Holy crap.
like L canceling, but in MM. Pretty cool.
Yeah, this is the real reason that I host this show at Game Masters, so I can steal everybody's strats for everybody that comes on. My goodness, I had no idea that was a thing. Yeah, definitely,
nice.
definitely committing that one. into memory.
Here's Dighty. No Kokiri Sword Majora today.
Thank God.
Yeah, that is not a fun fight.
That's big magic. I don't care about that. I care more about putting money in the bank, so I'm gonna go do that instead.
Yeah, it's just 200 rupees we need to get to, yeah?
Yeah, 200 and then 500, 1,000 are all checks, but the second and third are locked by a wallet and 2 wallets respectively, so 200 is the only one in logic right now.
But they are
That's a nice,
possible. So I know the
quality of
settings I
life.
played the gun.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sorry,
it's a quality
Gothic, go
of life
ahead.
change for, that's okay, it's quality of life change for Rando as well in the vanilla game. I think the last 2 checks, instead of 500, it's 1,000, and then instead of 1,000, it's 5,000. Like, if you wanted to 100% this game normally, you have to grind so much money, so it's one of the many nice quality of life things that's in MMR. There's a lot of really nice stuff. There's, like, the masks on the D-pad, lots of cutscenes, speed-ups.
Yep.
I'm pulling a blank here. Sunsong is in this, not in this particular run. It's not allowed in standard, but you can... Sunsong's actually in Majora's Mask in the code. So you can play it and kind of use it like Song of Time in the 3DS one, where if you hit a loading zone, it stops the clock, and then you can just go to whatever time you want. If you don't have that, then yeah, we're routing with like the Grandma Stories and Song of Double Time.
Mm-hmm. And it's just something to... add to the skill level for at least for the tournament, or just people's ability
You
to
gotta think about time a lot more.
Which I think now is probably a good time to mention. This is the settings I'm playing on is designed for our current randomizer tournament that's going on right now. Our top 32 bracket is in progress. It is hosted through both Zelda Speedruns and we have a French restream community as well. If you want more information about that, you can join the MM Discord. I'm sure it can be linked later on, but oh, nice. Couples Mask and Hookshot. I'm gonna go get money for that.
Also got another way the hero hint back there for Stone Tower Temple, so
I do not have access to it right now, but yeah, we'll figure that out later.
That's a later problem.
Mm-hmm. Couples Mask and Hookshot. Hookshot is the important one, but Couples Mask is nice too. I do need to be a little bit creative in how I get money here, though, because I don't want to take money from the bank right now. So I have a plan for... This is not the plan. This is just a little bit of extra cash. Okay, so there's a bunch of Dodongos here that I can get money from, but what I'm also going to do... Go to this. What is this song? Oh, it's only green rupees. Okay. Well, might as well do that anyway. The settings Gothic plays, those are all shuffled, so it's actually items that you can find there. But in these settings, it's just money.
Yeah, the rupees actually on that wall, they change for what time of day it is. There's 5 different clusters you can get, and yeah, if you play with Rupee Sanity on, it's 15 Sphere Zero items. If you start with Ocarina, you can also shuffle Ocarina if you're crazy.
Yeah, shuffling Ocarina means that you need to find it before the end of the cycle, or you just moon crash, which is not ideal.
Yeah, and you lose
but just think
all
of the
your
stream
items.
value if you don't find it.
You can also do Song of Time as well, so if you really want, yeah, you have to look for the 2 things.
Now, can we make you search for the individual notes? You gotta find C right and A button down.
Let's leave that to Ocarina of Time. I don't think we need that. Interestingly, though, we do have Zoe is about to put out. Zoe is the lead developer for MM Rando, and she's about to put out version 1.16, which is going to have a ton of new features in it, and I can't wait to see that.
I'm so excited.
I'm sure you guys will probably have Revan back on here to show those off when they're here. In fact, I think that was last time Revan was here on GDQ Hotfix. He was playing like an alpha build and showing off some of the demo features, so can't wait for that to be
there's
stable.
a lot of cool stuff. Yeah, we need to get him back on since we encountered a hard, unavoidable game crash. But hey, that's alpha. We took the risk.
Mm-hmm.
It's still a very entertaining run. We'll need to get him back on eventually.
I didn't get the fast start. It's fine.
So do you have like just the optimal line to take here? You know exactly every single spot you're putting a carrot. You know, it's like this tree carrot. I can have 4 here, then we're gonna have carrot here, carrot here.
Yeah, exactly. Pretty much. There's like visual cues for where you're supposed to use each carrot. There's a strat to get a quick start with Epona that unfortunately I failed. So I'm probably gonna get a 47 on this, not a 46. One of our.
How are you getting this rear camera?
I'm holding target. And the reason you do that is because opponent turns faster when you're targeting, so it's just optimal to do that. This might still be a 46.
I've learned 2 things.
Yeah, this will be a 46.
You can Z target with the Poda and go through, and you can skip that fence.
Yep.
You can just squeeze right on by.
I didn't know that, and I was like, oh my gosh, no, we're going right for the wall.
This is why Vidya is a game master. There we go.
Hey,
got the plug.
that's the name.
There you go.
Hey.
Yeah.
The show.
One of the bracket participants of this season, they're named Yukis. They're probably asleep right now, but they are the Gorman race master. They have the record, which I believe is they're the only person to have a 45 in Gorman race. And they've actually in the last couple of months they've come up with a ton of new tech to figure out like how to make it faster, including like a faster start and a new strat that lets you like delay carrots, which ends up making things faster, which is kind of cool. So yeah, shout outs to
I'm just
Yukis.
amazed that they can still optimize something as just going around that one circle. This game's 23 years old. Like,
Yeah, we're still finding
it's just
new
so.
stuff all
I
the
know
time.
it's amazing. Like this is why speedrunning is just so incredible in my opinion.
Is MMD comp done yet? Or I think
like-
it's pretty close.
It's at like 70%, I think. I haven't checked in a while.
It's getting there. But I'm sure, yeah, more fun secrets will come out of that for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Just gonna go for some of
This
the.
is also
the
a
chests.
small one.
We don't need
Pendant
pendant.
eel. Pendant is only used to make Anju wait for cafe if you're gonna get the couples mass check, but with the race settings, the couples mass check is just junk because why would we want to set that up in a race?
It's a colossal waste of time. If it were to be in, it would be always hinted. Like you would get a hint for it every single speed. But even
Was there
then,
any seasons that had it at all?
no, it's
Like ever?
always been off because just for again
Okay.
for racing and competitive play, it's just bad all around. But for
Yeah.
casual randomizer settings, like sure, turn it on. It's a lot of fun to hunt for all those items, but here we just don't bother. So we're gonna do Swamp Shooting Gallery. So this is actually a new thing to Season 4. Swamp Shooting Gallery is now 2 rewards. And the reason for that is if you're going through here the first time without a bow, you hard isolate this check. And we wanted to give a little bit more incentive to like coming back here, so it's not just like the last thing everybody's checking. So now, as long as you get a certain time on the game, you get both rewards for playing it once, which is really nice.
I think when I first played this, the little scrubs on the top left and top right, they kept me up for a while.
Yeah,
Where
they're-
do I find?
They're very tiny. I still much prefer this one to the town one though. Because you can mess up in the swamp one and like be fine. If you miss like one in the town one, you gotta wait and do it again to get all the rewards.
And this, we only need to do like the heart piece check. Or I guess it's the bigger quiver in the town archery, so it's just getting the 40. Alright, loading out my wallet, which is
Nice.
fine, I guess. We're about to check another tingle, so I guess it's fine to look at that. Oh. It's guaranteed money in those bushes every single time, so Swamp Archery actually ends up being one of the best places to farm money if you're without anything else. Okay, no Cafe's Mass. So that side of Cafe's Mass is on
Nice.
Gossip Stone, but because it's in gray text, it means it's not required to be seed. So we can fully ignore Cafe's Mass, which is really nice because we have a stock pot in Way of the Hero. So Nice to know we can just cross
Cafe's
that off our
Math,
list.
yeah, Cafe's Math also opens up the Madame Aroma letter trade-in. Because when you find the letter to Mama, you can either give it to the postman or to Cafe's mom. But you need Cafe's Math to like prompt her to take it. So if we find a letter to Mama, we only have to worry about the postman now. Or beans.
Alright, so I'm going to be able to see what's on top of the roof here, the tourist roof. And if that's a required item, I might be able to gamble on not actually turning in letter to cafe. No, okay, so it's the turn in.
Vanilla.
So that tells me that I want to rush my next cycle and turn in letter to cafe as soon as possible because there's going to be a required item on the trade-in, and I can get that right now. For now, I'm just going to do one of the most annoying checks to route in for first cycle because there is a it is a grotto in the woods here that is only open on day 2. So yeah, I'm gonna have to specifically route going over here, unfortunately, but that's fine. And then we'll skip the witch cutscene there. There's a cutscene on day 2 where she flies into the woods, but if you look at her from far away, let her render, it sets the flag for her to be in the woods, but the cutscene doesn't play. And as long as you don't look at her too close, then you never get that cutscene, which is very nice.
Was our first Foolish, I think? For Snowhead?
Yeah, Snowhead is Foolish. We also had a Great Bay Temple of Foolish earlier. So 2 of our
okay.
dungeons are not required.
And one of them is. Interesting.
Gold Dust.
Dust.
Don't really care about that right now. But I'll write it down for later. There's a cool recoil flip I can do here if the enemy's in the right position. Try it again. Don't bother. I just deal with the witches here, and then I'm gonna make it night 3 right away. Hello, Kuume. These are the witches from Ocarina of Time, right? That they're not evil in this game because they don't know who you are. 7 years in the past, so they're like, I don't know who this kid is. Clearly, he's not going to show up later on and cause trouble or anything.
Nah.
All up in her grill. Oh, nice vanilla bottle.
What? Vanilla? Oh my goodness.
That's really nice because I didn't buy a red potion, so I was going to have to go up and buy a potion from her shop. Now I don't have to, which is really nice. So yeah,
I think that's the worst part with the randos. If you don't have a red potion, it's like, well, let's go out and in.
This puts the other half of the swamp in logic, because when we go see her at the boat place, we get a boat ride and the Picto Box check. But the boat ride will take us over to Palace.
Which entering Deku Palace is not in logic until I find Deku so I'm just not even gonna bother.
You're not gonna go over there? Okay. I wasn't sure if you were gonna backflip over that too.
No. Because
good.
there's a song there. There's a song check there, and you can only get the song as Deku, so there's just no point going there until... Alright, so there's actually a way, because normally what happens is once you get the item from Kome here, she forces you into the boat ride, but there's a trick I can do to skip it, so what you do is hold target, backwalk to the door, target Kome, get the item, and then hold towards the door, and then just mash A, and you get out without running the boat.
Holy bottles!
Yeah, we got 5 bottles now. I don't even remember where the milk bottle was, but it's fine.
It was the Bomber Kid reward.
Alright, so Southern Swamp, for whatever reason, doesn't have day transition, so it's a really nice spot to advance time of day all the way till all the way to night 3. Because there's a couple things I need to do on night 3, so we'll just take care of those right now. It would have been nice to have multiple bottles in previous settings. One change in Season 4 is that the song for collecting all the Zora eggs is no longer a song that we need to do. And that's just because it was regarded as extremely time-consuming and something that a lot of people would gamble on and lose a lot of time over. So it's something that the community essentially sided with removing for season 4. I personally, I like eggs, but I can see why other people don't. So not a debate we'll need to have right now. But yeah, if you have more bottles, it's a lot nicer for that sort of thing. That's nothing. All right, so we'll check one more thing in Stockpot Inn. It is now open to us on night 3 at any time of day. So we'll go here and we'll come back here later because there's another thing we'll need to do. But this is a night 3 only chest. So let's open it right now, or at least see what it is, and we might skip it. All right, it's good. Let's see what's in.
Ooh.
What do we got? Garo mask.
Garo. Ooh.
So
that's nice.
Here's
you have Icona access now. You got Hookshot and a bonus song.
There is a single grotto there that's in Logic. So I'm not going to go do that right now, though, because getting to that grotto without Zora is kind of slow, and I can do other stuff in the West right now. So yeah, one thing you might not know about MM, if you haven't played the randomizer, is that this is something that is in the normal game. When you go east, there's this big ridge that you can't get up until you get the Garo mask from the Gorman race. And you show the mask to the guy and he spawns a little tree, and then you can hookshot up there. What you might not know is that the Gibdo mask also works. Like, if you just talk to him with the Gibdo mask, he'll do the exact same thing, which is something that the randomizer accounts for and expects. So there's actually 2 items for Icona access. There's the Garo mask and the Gibdo mask. And that causes a lot of people's first playthrough. Gothic, I'm sure, as a support member of the MMR Discord, I'm sure you get that question a lot.
Yeah.
Like, how do I get an Icona? My seed is broken. No, you just don't know the Gibdo mask.
Yeah.
And that's something.
It's not even it's not a bug either. Like, there's different text for it. Like, the guy says something about you have the mask of, like, regrets, and, like, there's a different, I don't remember which one's which, but he says something different for it, so it's in the game. But yeah, if you go up there the first time, you need Gibdo to go up there. You would never do that again. But yeah, fun fact.
Yeah, it's just something that they programmed into the game. It might be just something that's left over from, like, say, an earlier, like, build of the game. But because it's something that you can do in normal MM, it's something that the randomizer accounts for. Why am I red? It is because the randomizer lets you pick your tunic color, and it lets you actually pick your color for all 4 forms, like Deku, Goron, Zora, as well as Fierce Deity. And what a lot of people will do is they'll just make it like a random color every single seed. Me personally, I'm boring. I just pick my tunic color as maroon every single time because it's my favorite color, but you can do whatever you want. It's one of the cool features of the randomizer.
There's a couple extra models with the randomizer program too. If you played this before and did the couples mask quest, you remember playing as Cafe at the end there with the maze? Yeah, Cafe just like works the same as Young Link in this game, so you can also play as him if you want. Then there's also, I don't know who made it, I apologize, but there's also an adult Link model that looks more like MM Link. It's not just the OOT one. Makes him taller too. I think he's got the same build as Zora Link or something.
Yeah,
but
it's the same
cool.
as Zora Link, yeah. All right, so a little fish here. In the normal game, this is a heart piece. You have to feed 6. I think it's anywhere between 4 and 7 fish, depending on RNG, to get a heart piece. But the randomizer speeds it up, and we only need to feed 1.
Another fun random fact about these fish: you can actually put bugs in this fish tank and they eat them. Like, they have a little animation of them swimming up and eating the bugs. They don't grow though, like it doesn't really do anything, but it's just like a random cool thing. If you've got bugs up here, might as well give them a snack. That's Mask of Sense. Does Mask of Sense do anything in Standard? I don't remember.
It is one of the 2 ways that you can get into Leftwell, the other of which being a wallet. And that's because it is one of the ways to get a blue potion, right? So the 2 ways to get blue potion is either you can buy it from the Icona Deku Scrub for 100 rupees, or you can find a mushroom with Mask of Sense and give it to Kotake, and she'll give you a blue potion. So that's why I grabbed it, is that it is somewhat important, maybe, if I need to get into well. So we'll hold on to it. Seahorses is nothing. Nice. right, so that chest, there's a chest I can look it up there and see that it's nothing as well, but there's another one here that you can't peek from the ground, so I'm just gonna have to go up and see what it is. And so I am trying to kill time until midnight here because if you know, there's the Skull Kid at midnight check where you normally get Song of Time. That is replaced with a shuffled song, so I do want to go up and do it. Is that locked by bow? I think so.
Yeah,
it's locked by hook
single
shot.
head hook shot.
Yeah, so that is a bow locked bow, at least for now. And
The classic.
we did also get.
Might find.
Yeah,
There might be something else to shoot Tingle down too, like if we find Zora or Deku Mask with the magic bubbles, but yeah, just gotta think about that because of that bow in the end.
Trying to think of what I can do. I guess I can go farm a little bit of money here and get the bank. I do need to kill a little bit of time, but I'm mostly fine. Alright, so here's a little bit of all sanity knowledge here. These two fountains here have blue rupees in them. That's
Oh,
pretty
you
cool.
should show the wall spot.
Oh, the wall spot? Yeah. Where is this? Like,
Yeah.
like right
No.
here, somewhere? I don't remember. There
I
it
think you
is.
have to jump slash.
What? Why is that there?
Good question. If you play with Rupee Sanity, you can randomize that. But yeah, assuming there's like some weird beta screenshots of what Permanent Field looked like, and there was like the artwork around Clocktown looked like a bit different, like it wasn't just like a plain wall like that. So I think it like used to line up with something and then they changed it and probably forgot it there.
12, it's fine.
But yeah, there's a fun little secret. 3 whole green rupees for finding that.
Oh no. That's not what you want to see.
Wait, what was it? I missed out, sorry.
There was a Keaton mask on the all-night mask check. So that is locked by 2 wallets.
Uh-oh.
And it's also an item that you can only get on night 3 after 10 p.m. and only if you save Grandma in North Clocktown. So it's something we're going to have to watch out for and might have to set up again in future cycles. Just for now, plug our ears and hope that it's nothing. Everybody's favorite character in the game. That's the one I want.
I forgot you had one tier.
Yeah, I'll trade that in before I
Yay!
before you finish. What do you have for me? GFS, that's pretty nice.
Yeah, that's nice.
Nice little big sword.
You got Fierce Steady too, you are loaded for
We
damage.
got tons of weaponry. Oh, actually, there's one thing I can do to get a bunch of money here. I'll show this off just because it's a nice little option for routing money. Oh, actually, hold on. One more thing. So normally when you prompt characters in MM, like if you need to give them an item, you need to talk to them first, and then they say like, you give me an item with C, which is fundamentally different from how it's done in Ocarina of Time, where you walk up to somebody, you just press the item and hold it up. And the reason they changed that is because, you might accidentally, if you have to give like a potion, you might accidentally drink it. This NPC here is the one NPC in MM where it works like OOT, where you can just hold it up to them.
What?
Yeah.
I never knew that.
There you go.
What the heck? But yeah, that's a funny muscle memory thing to do. If you go to the witch laying in the swamp who's, she's like begging you to save her for a potion, and then muscle memory, you just like drink it in front of her instead of giving it. That always kind of feels bad, but it's funny.
Ice arrows. Those are hard required to beat the seed for a single room
Let's
in
go.
GBT. So we need those. Alright, so here's a nice little thing I can do before I finish this cycle here. This is going to give me 200 rupees. I can only afford 99, but it's still good. At least for money routing, this is good. And I'm going to be able to do this again with Chateau. So it's nice that I found both of them in one cycle. So there's one thing that I'm a little bit worried about right now that we'll have to think about later, is that land title deed might be required for something called relocation. It's a
Oh my god.
yeah, it's extreme edge case with the game. There is a Deku salesman in the north who sells you the biggest bomb bag for 200 rupees. And normally you can only get that item with Goron. However, every time you give a deed to one of those, because there's the whole deed trade quest, right, with land title deed and stuff, and you saw the scrub just a few seconds ago moving away. Every time you give a trade item to the scrub, they actually move to a different location. And so what you can do is you can actually move the Deku scrub, who's normally in the mountain, down to the swamp. And if you move him into the swamp, for whatever reason, the game lets you buy that same item with any form. The implication of this being, if you can move that Deku scrub to the swamp, which requires both Moon's Tier, land title deed, and swamp title deed, that check can have Goron mask on it. And it's one of the most ludicrous, weird edge cases and logic you can possibly have in this game. But it is possible that the land title deed on Letter to Cafe is Way of the Hero for that. Which means
I would love that, honestly.
Yeah, which means I'm going to have to really think about where Moon's Tier is and hope that I don't forget it. I remember where it was. It was on the stump checks.
Yeah, I remember it's somewhere in Hyrule Field, yep. Or sorry, Termina Field. Caught myself. Yeah, I have one word for that possible sequence though, and that is disgusting.
Yes.
Absolutely disgusting. Horrid.
It could happen. Just have to find out.
I didn't even think about that when I saw the hint, but you were right, it could.
Alright. This item's
we
always...
can't peek. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say,
what about the skull kit item?
This item is always going to be junk in tournament settings, but it's also going to give me a song here. It's going well. Okay.
Lullaby.
There's no way out here, so we were forced to reset, but I routed specifically around for that. Alrighty.
Cool. Good first cycle.
Yep. How long was that? 45 minutes? Okay, I'd say that's average length for first cycle in Season 4 settings.
Not bad at all.
Now, I'm going to need to kill enough time here in order to open the inn so that I can do the all-night mass checks and then make it day 2. Letter to Cafe. Oh, wait, actually.
Letter to Cafe's on Postman, though.
I can't do that, can I? All right, let's... I thought it was such a clever idea.
You could do it day 2 though.
It's gonna be too annoying. I'm just gonna rush Letter to Cafe and then reset, I think.
Sounds like a plan. That's usually how my seed experience goes. Not always with hints.
It's very funny if that item on Skull Kid is shuffled to be Bomb Chew, because he's just casually tossing it around. It's like, no, Skull Kid, don't. you're gonna blow it up. One thing that I should also mention here is that this check is not in Logic without Bunnyhood. You're able to do it. There's a setup here that I didn't explain the first time I did it, but you count the rotating triangles above his head.
Yeah, I kind of forgot this was important.
That was early. Nope, it works still. Yeah, so you count the triangles. You count the 19th triangle is when you press A. And you're just able to get that for free. Yeah, so standard settings, you start with Song of Time, Song of Sorting, and Epona Song as well. And the reason for Song of Time, pretty obvious. You don't want to have to force to search it for your first cycle, and if you don't find it, then you're forced into a moon crash. Song of Sorting is just convenient to have for ratting purposes. And Epona Song, we've done ever since Season 3 settings, we've started with Epona Song, mostly because it kind of sucks to have half of the game locked behind a single song that you have to hunt for. So it's just something that we, the general racing community agreed was a good step forward. Yeah, now I just have to advance time here all the way to night 3, get the land title deed, and hope that the item on it is just something that I can do without, or something that is just good item and not a chain and something else that I have to reset and try again for. So the reason why Song of Healing is not considered one of those 4 songs is that it actually doesn't unlock you a whole lot in the randomizer. I think it's necessary for 4 checks. There's the Dancing Camaro in North Termina Field. There's Mikau. There's Darmani, and then there's Pamela in Iconic Canyon. But other than that, Song of Healing doesn't actually do a whole lot, so there's no reason to start with it.
And sorry, did you say meat cow?
Mikau. Mikau is
okay,
the Zora.
I thought you said meat cow, and I was like, wait.
Meat
hang
cow?
on.
Tell me there's a meat cow in this game? I thought they only give you milk. Also, you can, I don't know if people really notice there, but you can just do a see up peeks through the wall and target Cafe through the wall and talk to him that way. Here, I'll do it again.
Wall hacks.
Yeah, see that?
Love it.
Some money here, and we'll make it night 3 once again. Mikau is the Zora that is dying in Great Bay Coast, and you have to play Song of Healing and you get the Zora mask in the normal game. But on this, it's just going to be a random item. This is a randomizer.
I just
Yeah, no transformation nuts.
Baby,
Yeah.
here's a rupee. Goodbye.
That part of the cutscene still plays too, so like when Mikau like fades away or whatever and the Zora mask stays and like falls in the sand, it's the model of whatever item it is. So yeah, it's funny when it's just like, yeah, just a rupee or something, he just turns into a bloopy. Imagine you die and turn into a bloopy.
Imagine.
Alright. I'm really excited to see what this trade-in is.
Me too.
Now that I have scrub relocation in my head, I need to know.
There's one thing we do need to keep in mind, though, is that with Way of the Heroes, one of those Way of the Heroes can be a bunny hood to get the letter to counter. So I need to pay attention to that. Hopefully it's not like the Stone Tower Temple trade-in. $466, so pretty close to the next bank check. First, let's see what that land title deed trade-in is for. And then
I feel like that was the first hint we got, so I'm just like, oh, what is it?
I swear to God, if this is like some weird interstitial intermediate item, I'm gonna be so mad.
Not ready. What's the worst that could happen? I mean,
talking to the scrub will be nice too because he says what he sells, or is that not randomized in this? Oh, never mind. He just gives beans.
Yeah.
You can randomize what he sells to each form. Well, let's see here.
It's just Zora mask.
hey.
Zora mask.
All right, so that gives me a whole bunch of stuff to do now.
Nice.
I think the first thing I'm gonna go do is go up to Icona, just because that's going to be the what we call progression. Essentially, I need to do that no matter what. Go up and hit that owl because we're gonna need to go to that region eventually anyway. So I might as well do it and do the checks along the way. And if I get rewarded, it's like, oh well, I was only doing progression, so you know, it just made sense, and I saved time over doing unnecessary stuff. Zora also opens up a ton in the west region, most notably Pirate's Fortress, which is the most dense region in the game. There's 12 checks there. Well, I should be more specific. There's 8 checks there when you have just Zora, and if you get Goron, then there's another 4. So that in total is 12 checks in a very short amount of time, and it's very, very useful to have. So, but yeah, I think Icona is going to be the thing I do first, just because I need to do it, and I also want to kill time for the all-night mass check. I'm still a little bit sus about that bow, so we'll just see how it plays out.
Wait, what was? Oh, it's. I guess we don't know because we don't have Bunny Hood, but you have Zora now, which could have also shot down Tingle. But if we don't know where Bunny Hood is, then I guess we can't rule that out.
Yeah, exactly. And at this point, I'm basically out of things to do that don't require a bow, or other projectile. I'm trying to think. Yeah, I don't know if there's anything I have left that's not locked by bow in some capacity.
Yeah, except for like All Night's Mask. Did you do the couples mask like heart piece?
No, not yet. But that was also that was
too.
locked by a projectile as well. So.
Oh yeah, right. Tingle had that as well.
So we'll go up here. So Iconic Graveyard is Way of the Hero, but I can't do anything there without either Captain's Hat, Knot of Awakening, or Bombs. One of those 3 things will give me access to stuff to do there. So for now, I'm just going to read this hintstone and press on. That's just a repeat of another hint we got earlier. Every hint in the game is going to be repeated twice, so eventually I'm going to reach a point where I don't need to read hints anymore because they're all just going to be the same ones I've read already. In fact, I think I'm missing 1 foolish hint, I'm missing 1 always hint, and 1 sometimes hint, which I won't get too into, but essentially we just divide up hints into different categories, and I know how many of each I'm going to get every single seed. We do have beans for Dog Roof, yes. That's something I'll have to do later on. I might have been able to check Ranch that last cycle, but I don't particularly care that much.
We'll get there eventually,
Yeah,
maybe.
yeah. Who rolled this seed?
So,
I did. I was the seed roller. I'm to blame for whatever this seed throws at us.
Yeah, now we're getting close to the hour mark, close to our first break. And how are you feeling about the seed overall?
So far, the fact that that letter to Cafe led to an actual item and it's not going to be, you know, just some wild goose chase that I'm going to have to deal with is very reassuring to me.
Yeah.
I guess before we go to the break, I'll list off the required items for the seed. I'm absolutely going to need Deku and Goron Mask. I'm 100% going to need fire arrows and light arrows. And then I might need a certain set of song items. What is this? Hey, Deku Mask is right there.
Oh, nice!
Now I'm feeling even better.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, just very briefly to explain how the way that songs work in these settings. The songs are shuffled among themselves, so I'm only going to find a song where like a song would normally show up in the game, right? So, you know, I go to Deku Palace, you get Sonata of Awakening there normally. That check is going to have a shuffled song in it. There are 3 songs in the game that are locked by specific items, those being the Powder Keg for the Ranch song, Captain's Hat for the Graveyard song, and Mirror Shield for the Iconic Castle song. This means that any seed that you play is going to have certain items, like basically one seed you might need Keg and Captain's Hat, another seed you might need all 3, another seed you might just need Mirror Shield, for example. So I don't know which one of them I'm going to need, but those 3 items are going to be very important for getting songs later on. Yeah, let's go to Deku Palace.
Nice, see what that monkey's got.
True. Yeah, that's going to be the second song we got. We already got Goron Lullaby, which is good. The songs to watch out for are Storms and Healing. Those are the 2 songs in the game that are not required to beat the seed. So if I see any of those, it means I'm going to need at least one more of those song items that I just mentioned. So like by default, you need 1, but as soon as you find healing, oh, speaking of, there's one of them right there.
My goodness.
The Powder Keg is another one that will get me a song, but unfortunately, I can't check that one without Goron as well to lift the keg. But it's fine. It's always a good thing to find a keg.
Yeah, we're not doing Swamp Spider House. We got a hint that said the reward is not important. And none of the skulls are shuffled in these settings, so just skipping that.
Yep.
And Vidya, how about after we clear the palace, we can go into our first break? I feel like that'd be a good pause point.
Sure.
Nice little trick
Well,
there.
That was so cool.
If I had bombs here, I could do damage boost to get over these fences, but unfortunately I don't, so I'm gonna have to do this the normal way, the slow way. Let's see here. Don't bother with that. There's a little skip here to get across up here without having to do the whole bean side quest. Saved a bunch of
Oh,
time.
I love that.
Yeah. Of course, I gotta wait here. Cycle's not great. This ledge here, this ledge is one of the best coded ledges in N64 history. That you watch here. Right about here, I can just go for it, rub against it, and it just clips me up.
Yeah, love it.
Perfect. Song here.
Usually things don't work that way in this era.
Oh my god. Elegy, nice.
Yeah. So that is another one of the required songs that I'm going to need. So that is good. Good to see that.
Is one transformation climb on
Yes.
in this?
Yep.
Cool.
That is
so
something we changed.
you could go into Stone Tower, but you couldn't do. I wouldn't without Mirror Shield or Light Arrows or something. But
Yeah.
Wayne Hero could be like in that first room on the left, like after the maze. If this seed's really mean.
This is why I like having bombs, so I can just skip over all of the guards and not have to deal with RNG.
Yeah, are they completely random how they behave?
Yes, they are completely random. You can kind of understand like how their movement works. Like they will either like go along like one direction of their path, and then either they'll turn and keep going immediately, or they'll stop for at least 2 or 3 seconds before they start going again. So if they stop for a little bit, you're always going to know that you have like a little bit of a window to go. But if they turn right away, then there's just nothing you can do about that. Or container. And then the best character, best NPC in the game, we have Bean Daddy here. All my
Let's
homies
go,
love
Bean
Bean
Daddy.
Daddy. Alright, so that is going to do it for Deku Palace. So I think we are ready to go into our first little break.
Yes, we are. So let's go ahead and pause the timer in 3, 2, 1. Pause. All right, everybody, we are going into our first break, our standard little break, so everybody can get up, stretch, get some water. And before we head right into it, a couple quick announcements for you. Did you know GDQ 2024 is finally back to being live in person? It's going to be January 14th through 21st in a brand new location, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. So volunteer submissions will close September 18th. That is next Monday. So use !GDQ in Twitch chat for more info. If you're interested in camera, check-in, tech, or any of the other volunteer positions, sure to apply, even if you don't have any experience. We love teaching new people all the different roles, so anybody is welcome. So please consider it. And also, in honor of Hispanic and Latin American Heritage Month, GDQ Hotfix will be hosting a variety of Latin American and Hispanic runners. So tune in this weekend for a special Latin American speedrun showcase on September 16th and 17th, all starting at 1 p.m. Eastern. Don't go away, everybody. We'll be back in just a few moments. And welcome back from the break, everybody. If you just got here, we are going through Majora's Mask Randomizer under the Season 4 tournament settings, brought to you by Vidya. And Vidya, whenever you're ready, go ahead and count us back in.
All right, do it in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. All right, so when we just left off, we got the Deku Mask and we got Powder Keg, 2 very important items. Just finished clearing through Deku Palace, and now I'm going to go through Woodfall. It's going to bring us all the way to the dungeon. Unfortunately, I do not have the song to access the dungeon yet, so we're just going to hit the owl statue and leave and go do other stuff as it pertains to the rest of the seed. Big things.
Yeah, all 4 main dungeons are locked by a song.
Yes.
So that's what I mean.
And none of them I can get into right now. Well, I can get into Stone Tower Temple, but I can't check anything yet. I need a couple more items before I can actually do stuff there. We do have Goron Lullaby. We have Elegy of Emptiness. We're still looking for Snot of Awakening, New Wave Bossa Nova, as well as Oath to Order to get to the moon. None of those chests, they're both nothing, so we can progress on. But I think my next play after this, I'm just gonna go for raw aggression and go straight into Pirate's Fortress. Even though I can't full clear it, I still think it's a good idea to do it right now. So yeah, these guys, pretty easy to just walk around those guys once you stun them.
Oh, you know what you can do now?
What's that?
Beavers.
I could do beavers, except, so here's the thing. This is something that's a little weird about Season 4 settings, but it'll make sense when you start playing. So the hint pool contains 6 slots for what's called the always pool. It's a set of 11 checks that are always going to be hinted in every single seed. And you might be asking, well, if there's only 6, how can you know what all 11 of them are? The way it works is that if you do not get a hint for one of those items, then it's never going to be required. So I have a hint So I have a hint for Butler Race, Fisherman Game, Romani Ranch Sisters, Swamp Spider House, and Gossip Stone. So I'm still missing one, but if
you got seahorses, or is that sometimes?
I did get seahorses, yeah. So seahorses is an ollie. So I do actually have all 6. So those are 6 of them. The other 5 are beavers, ocean spider house, Dompe digging, boat archery, and I actually don't remember what the last one is, but yeah, so essentially those other 5 ones I know are not going to be required just because I didn't get a hint for them. And it's really, really nice to just know that ahead of time. So beavers is not going to be something I have to do.
Oh,
there's another
I miss those guys.
See up peak here. That's just a purple rupee. Goron Village, Foolish Except Song.
There's a lot of foolish. Nice.
Yeah, nice. Another good one. So that tells me that the song in Goron Village is probably going to be important. And because we got the Except Song for the 2 dungeon, it also means the song in the dungeon is going to be important. So it's very possible that we only need one of the 3 song items, and it might just be Keg. You never know. There's 3 chests we can get right here, and then there's going to be 5 that I can get in the interior of Pirate's Fortress. And I'm gonna kind of hope that I find Goron here, because if I do, then I can just full clear this region in one go. That's a wallet, so that gets me a bomb bag, which will be very interesting.
Nice.
How does rando work with time reset? You have to do Ocean Spider House 3 times. You don't have to do Ocean Spider House. The only check that is shuffled in the randomizer is the day 1 check. So as long as you clear it on day 1, you get the item. However, we know it's going to be nothing for the reasons I explained earlier on in this kind of diatribe I've been doing. We know Ocean Spider House is not going to be required in this seed, but normally you would only have to do day 1 in these settings.
You might have to go in and get the 1 chest in there. There's a chest behind the mask shooting game.
It is logically locked by. It's logically locked by Captain's Hat. Yes. So I never check it unless I have Captain's Hat, just because that's one of the more important items you want to find in the seed.
Yeah.
I can't believe you just go in here mercilessly killing these pirates.
Well, they get up. They're fine.
They get up so fast in this. I don't play a lot of OOTR, but I played one a couple weeks ago, and it blew my mind to see how long they lay there in OOT.
Oh, they just lay there forever. They never get up in OT.
Oh, so in OOT they die. Okay.
In MM, you've got to, like, run. I feel like they did that just so Stone Mask feels, like, good in here. But yeah, I had no idea. But OT, they just lay there forever. They just take a nap.
That's probably what it is. It's hard to know what they were thinking with a lot of this game, just because of how rushed the development cycle is. The story goes that this game was made in 9 months. I usually like to say as a joke that this game was made in a week, because I mean that's usually how development cycles work. But yeah, this game was definitely a rush job, and it does show in areas. But I mean, part of the reason why I love it so much, so can't complain.
Yeah, it forced them to add a lot of content in small maps because they didn't have a lot of maps made, essentially. And yeah, now there's just like tons of stuff. That's another reason why I like MMR a lot, is because it's like each area is pretty check dense. So I don't feel like I'm running around like as much as like other Zelda randomizers, especially with stuff like Goron maps too. You can just roll around and go fast and pick stuff up.
So compact.
Bit of a tricky jump I can do here. I angle this just right. Easy.
Oh, gaming.
Whoa. What a gamer.
Just get here, and then this is going to be the last thing I need to do in Pirate's Fortress. So the return might have just been the wallet, but that is a nice return.
Yeah, that's definitely worth coming here for.
Yep. And now we can get bombs. Just going to open up a whole ton of stuff, including Way of the Hero Iconic Graveyard. So I guess I'm just going to go set that up right now. I think I also have exactly enough money here to get Bank 500, so let's go do that as well. Usually you'd like to have a little bit more from Pirate's Fortress, yeah, but I'll take that wallet for a bomb bag.
Hopefully we just don't have to go back there.
Yeah, I hope so.
Sewers.
Yeah, that would be pretty bad, I think, but we'll see. We'll see how it plays out. But luckily, Bank 500 was exactly 100 rupees, which is the amount of money I need for the bomb bag. Be nice. I do have a tracker. Unfortunately, I don't know if we have the stream real estate for it. I do have a little tracker on my side.
Yeah, we're not showing it on screen just because the real estate is so precious. But what are our remaining items that we need to get?
We need to find Goron Mask, Fire Arrows, Light Arrows, and maybe Captain's Hat Mirror Shield. That's it. Here's what I'm thinking. We still have not found the Bunny Hood. I'm beginning to think one of our Way of the Hero, specifically either the Graveyard or Stone Tower Way of the Hero. Actually, no, it can't be the Stone Tower Way of the Hero. Well, it could be if Goron Mask is just out there and available. Either way, I should probably be rushing the Way of the Hero areas soon, just so that we can narrow this down.
Did you check the All Knights mask checks?
No, not yet. Not yet.
Yeah.
But yeah. I'm gonna be taking care of some Clocktown cleanup soon.
Clocktown cleanup.
Indeed. God, that gets me every time. The soaring sound there. That shuffled sound. Oh yeah, we might as well explain what we need. So in order to enter the moon, we need to clear all 4 of the dungeons in the game, as well as have the song Oath to Order. Those are the only things. So technically, all we need to do is access to the ends of dungeons, those of which, have the songs and all the intermediate requirements, like the transformation mass and stuff. But each one has its own specific list of requirements. But in general, you're always going to need bow, hook shot, 1 of Garo Gibdo, the 3 transformation masks, the 3 elemental arrows, and the song items that I mentioned earlier. Hot tip, he asked for 150. If you say no, he'll give it to you for 100. Yeah, let's go ahead and get to... I'm going to go into East Clocktown now, because that's a fairly dense area now. And it also
all the mini-games.
Yeah, all the mini-games, might as well do them. And with a bomb bag, it's a lot easier to check all the different ones. Actually,
And in these settings, we're only doing the treasure chest game with Goron.
yes.
That's the only one in the vanilla game that gives like a real item. It gives a heart piece. The rest is just like, I think I remember, like a Deku Nut and like a stick maybe.
That there's a strat I did called a gainer. It's essentially a stationary backflip that allows you to grab ledges from much higher up than you would normally be able to. The reason I want to do that is because this place is closed. I want to make it 10 a.m. so that I can get into the mayor's office. So I'm going to do that while I round in this check here. Frog Champ. And I'm gonna get that story again just to get me to 10 a.m. even though I don't need to do this a second time. This is just for time.
Fire is one of the checks that's always gonna just be junked in a race setting.
Yeah, because
Dangiro's mask is pretty useless.
Good lord, having to route in 3 dungeons in a single cycle is gonna make people lose their minds in a race. It's not something you ever want to do. into the mayor's office for couple smash, which I've been able to do this for a while. It's just it's never been a good time to route all this, so might as well do this now while we're searching for a bunch of stuff.
I love this cutscene.
Oh, Sonic music!
Yeah, little Sonic Adventure 2 track there for the fans. Some more money. I'm not going to complain about money right now because we still have that bank check looming, and as soon as I find another wallet, Bank 1000 is going to enter logic, and that's going to be annoying. All right, so here's a thing called a recoil flip. Essentially, you backflip and shield a bomb explosion as it explodes, and it pushes you back at great speed. It's one of the reasons why finding bombs is so important, because you can do recoil flips like everywhere, and there's tons of like little speed ups. Like here's another one right here. We can just do a recoil flip and zoom across the water. Very nice.
Zoom. The reason video's moving backwards is because backwalking is actually, is it twice as fast as normal walking? It's the same.
It's not twice as fast. It's slightly faster than rolling forwards, but because it's more consistent, you just do it basically everywhere. The same at Ocarina of Time. If you ever seen an Ocarina of Time speedrun, when you backwalk everywhere.
When you play this a lot, you get really good at lining up backwalks too. Like, yeah, you don't need to look where you're going. But yeah, I think it's just as fast as Bunny Hood, right?
Yes, backwalking is the same as Bunny Hood speed going forwards.
That's ridiculous.
And yeah, it's just a skill you pick up as you run this game more and more. Is just learning how to line up backwalks and know where you're going to be approximately.
Also, with the map too, you can just like, if the maps are up, you can see Link on there too. You can just look at that. Aww.
Okay.
Sploosh. That was a sploosh, not a kaboom.
It sure was. We're starting to approach a pretty gnarly bottleneck here. That's essentially when you don't really have a ton to do. You're just kind of going around to all the different random areas and like cleaning up the last little things that you haven't done yet until you find a major item that kind of like opens up the seed. Right now, I think Goron Mask is going to be the big bottleneck that we're looking for. We'll have to see. I just want to get all this stuff out of the way because it's stuff I've been able to do for a while. It makes sense to route all of this all at once, basically.
Now hitting the blue ones, very calculated to make sure we end with as little time as possible.
Yes. We only need to get the 40 out of 50 prize in order to get the shuffled item here. The perfect 50 out of 50 is not shuffled in standard settings, and that's mostly for emulator accessibility reasons. Certain platforms for this game make the aiming way harder than others. I would actually argue that what I'm playing on, which is VVC, is the hardest aiming, but a lot of people, their emulators just set up on their laptop and they're not able to, get a good control stick range setup. So we just for accessibility reasons, we opt for only having the 40 shuffled. But yeah, I'm hitting the blue ones here to reduce the time. So right when I hit 40, the game ends. This little sword upgrade that I don't need.
And in Rando, Razor Sword is like a permanent upgrade. It doesn't go away after 100 swings.
It doesn't break.
Which is awesome, because Razor Sword's cool, so you actually get to like see it now.
Here's the long story. It's gonna put me in day 3.
I'm excited to see this.
The hot tip here, you have to answer I don't know. Or I guess it's I don't know is how it's written in order to get the prize here. Just a heart piece.
Alright, so that bow's looking more like way to here now.
Yeah,
There's like one more. There's just the room key check. We got a hint that said Cafe's mask was not required, so we can rule out Midnight Meeting. There's just the one other thing with room key, but yeah, we did get a bow right away from in there, so I would assume that's it. but who knows?
Yeah, I think so. I'm gonna trade this in, and then I'm gonna go over to ranch. I've been putting ranch off for a long time, and usually you go to ranch mostly for hints. There's only one hint I'm actually missing, so I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Alright, so he's going to take 2 in-game hours to make it all the way over to where the delivery happens, and he can give me the thing. So luckily I know something that is going to kill almost exactly 2 in-game hours, so we're going with that. So just for this, Zora backwalking is slightly faster than human. In fact, Zora, Deku, and Goron all have the same backwalk speed, and they're all slightly faster than human. So ideally, you want to, if you're backwalking over long distances, you want to be one of the transformation masks. Although, if you're Goron, you just want to roll everywhere, obviously, but, you know, besides the point. I don't have Goron mask, so can't get too hopeful.
I feel Goron shouldn't be that mobile.
Yeah, it really doesn't make sense. They're
But
huge and hefty, right? Heavy set, but that's just how it
You
is.
can backflip as Goron, so what do I know?
Dude,
Can you imagine the leg strength?
Goron gainers look so funny. I'll see if I can show it off later. They're just like tiny little backflips. So this item is something I can get, and it is gilded, so
Oh, nice.
maybe punished for putting this off, but whatever.
Are you gonna do dog race or wait?
It's Goron mask.
Oh,
Of course it is.
let's go.
Of course it is. That is one of the worst spots Goron mask could possibly be in. And now, Bunnyhood and Stone Tower Temple is looking a lot more likely, believe it or not. Thankfully, though, Goron mask is one of the best items you can get in the game because now you can move super fast. And that's going to allow me to use my keg as well. It's going to be very nice.
Awesome.
Yeah. Generally, especially if you have keg, it's more preferable to put off ranch until you find Goron mask so that you can get the keg song on day one and just do ranch in one trip. So Goron being there is just kind of like a mean, like the seed saying screw you. You don't get to have nice things. But it's okay. I didn't put off ranch for a super long time. There were a couple opportunities to do it. But it's fine. It's not a big deal. $690 rupees, so getting closer to that bank 1,000. Goron bomb jump doesn't unlock a ton. It's mostly used for like skipping opponent stuff, but it doesn't really get you a ton necessarily at this point in the seed.
And the only other thing it could skip would be going into Ocean House, because that first gate that you usually hookshot over, you can do a Goron bomb jump in there. I found hookshot in there before with the settings I play. So yeah, that's mean.
Yeah, Goron's gonna get us access to two songs now, which is gonna be really nice. Hopefully they're one of Sonata, New Wave, and Oath. We can tell what song it is just by looking at the color of the note when you get the song. And if it's a white song or a white kind of transparent note, it means it's either Healing or Storms. And if it's a different color, then that means it is one of the songs we actually need, like hard required.
We knew, where was Cafe Smash? We got a hint that said where Cafe Smash was. It was one of the, I don't remember exactly, but yeah, it said it was
Stones.
Gosh, that's what it was.
And it was not required, yeah.
Yeah, nice toggle you can turn on with this, and yeah, it's on the race settings as if the hint says a specific item in brackets, it'll say required or not. Came in handy at the beginning of this when we learned that Cafe's letter led to land title deed, because it told us, hey, you need to do this.
Yeah. out of here. I'm gonna go over to ranch. Wait, I didn't get the keg. Hold on, I have a backup for this. Y'all ready for this?
No.
So,
No, I'm not.
yeah, I need to buy a keg from Clocktown. However, if you just so happen to remember where the keg location was in Randomizer, you can just go there and get it again. Just so happens that I remember keg was right here. That is not the mask I wanted to put on. That's a GameCube D-pad moment right there if I've ever seen one. Yeah, we'll just go get this keg real quick. And so my next plan, once I get this keg, and I get the ranch song, I'm gonna go north, get the Goron song in Goron Village, and I can skip most of Goron Village because I got a hint that it was foolish except for the song, so I just need to get the song and leave. However, there is one thing I need to do in Goron Village in order to like fully clear the rest of the north, which is get the rock sirloin so that I can feed the hungry Goron.
Yeah.
The racing community has deemed the name of that Goron to be Hugo, because he's the hungry Goron, H-U hungry, G-O Goron Hugo. That's kind of the reasoning behind it. It's not just a random name we gave a random thing, like a lot of things are in the randomizer community. Yeah, it's Hugo, and he is extremely divisive in the racing community because it is fairly time-consuming, but it's something that, like, if Goron Village were to be, you know, just like something you do normally, it's kind of hard to rat it in with the rest of what you're doing in the north. But thankfully, with a foolish Goron Village, it's going to be super easy to rat it in.
You know, I could say I hate Hugo, not because the check's long, but because, like, what are you doing, buddy? Like, it takes no effort to roll off and eat the rock sirloin. Come on, it's like a 2-second thing.
Yeah,
Gravity does all the work. Come on.
You're telling me your little Goron curl is not protected? Come on, give me a break.
That being said, rock sirloin, I think, is the single greatest name for an item in the entire Zelda series. Especially since it's literally rock that's shaped like meat on a bone.
I'm trying to think of a counterexample to that, and I don't think I can think of one.
You can't because it's the best.
What do they call it in Tears of the Kingdom? Because, like...
Oh, the, like...
Death Mountain, like, story. They're, like, eating the weird rock. I don't remember what it's called, though.
Yeah, I'm failing to remember what the name of it is. No.
I'm sure someone in chat's got us.
Storms.
Alright, so that means we're going to need to find at least one of Mirror Shield and Captain's Hat. We kind of, like, soft knew that already because the iconic Graveyard Way of the hero exists, but we'll have to see what that actually leads to. Alright. I was about to say, now that I'm Goron, I can go around super fast. However, I just bonked into like 2 walls there, so, you know. Execution skills on display.
Yeah, the Marbled Rock. It's called the Marbled Rock Roast. That's what it was. Thank you.
Hey, there's a blue rupee there. Did you know that?
Whoa.
Why did Nintendo just put all this random?
There's so many questions that we don't have answers to with this game. You ever?
I'm still losing it over the rupees and just the wall.
If you ever watch Gothic streams, the settings that she uses, you see like all the random stuff that's in the game. There's so much stuff that you would never think
There's
existed.
a lot of... Yeah, lots of weird rupee spots, for sure.
The North Owl.
You don't have lens, do you?
I do not have lens, which means the climb to get up to Darmani and get the hot spring water is currently not accessible to me, so I don't need to worry too much about the smithy right now. However, as soon as I find either lens or fire arrows, then both the smithy checks are fair game.
Where was Gold Dust?
Gold Dust was in Woods of Mystery. Oh. There's Woods of Mystery in the Day 2 Grotto.
Yeah, there was like a million bottles over there. Cool.
Forgot to get bombs when I reset. Wow.
The rupee spots in Pirate's Fortress are pretty wild. That's true. So, like, a fun, really weird thing that I didn't know about Pirate's Fortress till I played Rando. So, there's, like, the room with the freestanding heart piece in it where you have to hit the switch, and then there's, like, a gate that opens up and down. Right to the right of that gate, there's a ladder that has 2 jars above it. And I think one of them just had hearts and one has fixed drop, which gets randomized with Ruby Sanity and stuff, but... yeah, you would probably almost always swim by that, but there's just a ladder there with some stuff. I guess you could do sewers now too. Forgot about that.
That is, if I don't get a useful song here, there's going to end up being probably like one of my next densest regions. I do have Way of the Hero, Icona, Graveyard, and Stone Tower Temple where I can do exactly one thing. However, I don't know if I really want to commit that much time to those right now, so maybe sewers will be in my very near future. What's the song? It's a blues song.
Ooh.
The Great Bay Temple is foolish except for the song. However, I know that song is going to be useful, and it could be Sonata. It could also be healing, but that would just mean that I actually do need healing in order to beat the seed, most likely. So,
do you need fire arrows to get to the boss in Great Bay?
No, it's
like, do you have ice arrows already?
There are strats to skip it. Get fire arrows entirely, although logically you do need fire arrows, so that's one thing I'll need to pay attention to. Also, you can just activate the chandelier by lighting a torch and shooting it. You don't need to do the whole sequence where you light all the torches in the Goron Shrine here. You can just get it spinning that way. And also, I have a setup there to get the rock sirloin first try every time. So.
Yeah, it's always in the same one.
But yeah, you want to be backwalking as much as possible here. Because you can't be Goron rolling, so backwalking is your next best movement option. But when you target the tech deck, ruining my execution. Fence is also ruining my execution.
No. Not the execution.
Why is there a bone for rock? Oh my gosh.
Rock bone.
I know.
Yeah, I never thought about that actually.
It's fossilized meat.
Oh, okay.
Maybe that's
it's a dinosaur bone.
So it used to be meat millions of years ago. Now it's rock. It's a piece of rock.
I also love how this is pretty much the only time you get to see just how long the Goron's arms are. He just pulled it like way up high over his head. It's very funny.
He's basically Lanky Kong.
It's true. Almost there. For our guy Hugo. Yeet. It's nothing.
Aww.
Nothing today. In Randomizer, you can skip this cutscene where he rolls away. You can actually roll with him. Roll along, go for a ride. Go on a trip with Hugo. Okay, goodbye, Hugo.
Bye, Hugo.
He just disappears.
Did you check Zoe Grotto?
I did, yeah.
Oh, okay. Missed it.
Alright. So I could go into Snowhead right now and check a couple things even without fire arrows, but it's also hinted Foolish Accept Song. So I don't even need to bother. Yeah, I could either go... I think I'm going to go to Graveyard first for the single check that I can do. I was kind of hoping to pull Sonata from one of these. In fact, actually, that might be a good idea, is actually clear GBT first. Get some, like, hope that it's Sonata, and then go to Graveyard, and then hope that that Way of the Hero item is going to be one of the required things I still need. I do need to be very careful, though, because Bunnyhood is still out there and could be in a Way of the Hero location, just so that I can get Letter to Cafe, so I think TASing Zorlok stuff is going to be kind of the way going forward, because we know it's not going to lead to bunnyhood. Enjoy the soaring out every time.
It's amazing. What song was that? I also like kind of recognized it, but I don't remember.
It's a song from Mario Odyssey. It's like
That's
the
what it
shiver, whatever. I don't remember the exact name of it.
Yeah.
Shiveria.
Yeah,
The town.
but it's
Nice.
like remixed to sound like the Clock Town music.
Yeah, it sounds really nice. I like the rando songs that are like remix Zelda songs. Like your shop music is the Krusty Krab song, but it sounds like the Zelda shop music.
I'll give that one an extended play later on.
Certified banger.
Last Mass.
Nice.
A nice little option for explosives if I run out of bombs. We'll go into Zora Hall real quickly. There's two things that I can do. One of which, even if it's not required, I still want to show off because it looks really cool. The other thing is just going to be hard required. Yeah, like I said, now that I have Goron, I'm going to be using it as much as I can. This is vanilla music. What the heck?
Unbelievable.
You should restart.
Okay, it's just all right.
Yep.
So if I don't have the deed to trade that in, I can still get it in two different ways. One of which is backflip on this table, go over here, and then just hug the wall here. Eventually, you grab the ledge and you can get up here. Alternatively, much faster method is to turn the wall, punch here, and do a Goron pound. Not there. Here. And you just pop up. That's two different ways you can get up to that ledge without needing the deed. That's not what I wanted. There you go. Also, yes, I do have the Silent Hill dog ending song in here as one of the tracks, and it does have dog barking in it.
Yes. Another really good MMR song is Glee Club from Rhythm Heaven, but the singing is the Baby Goron singing sound. It's so funny.
Oh, that's awesome. Nothing here. All right, so we're gonna do Great Bay Temple, not because there's any items we need to check there. So I'm just gonna do what we call go moding the temple, which is essentially just doing the bare minimum required in order to clear the dungeon. Normally, go mode is when you have all your items, you know everything, and you don't need to check anything else. You know you can finish the seed at that point. So go moding dungeons is essentially doing that, with the knowledge that you don't need to do anything other than just get to the boss and clear the dungeon. So that's what we're going to be doing. We are still looking for fire arrows, light arrows, and at least one more of the song items. So GBT is, I think, casually in the general Zelda community, GBT is very polarizing as a dungeon, it being a water dungeon and kind of confusing. However, as a randomizer player, I think this is one of the sickest dungeons in the entire franchise, and you'll see why. There's a ton of cool strats you can do to speed up this dungeon. So the first one's going to happen right away. This is called Goron Water Wheel. It's essentially a trick to skip activating the first little like yellow turn key in this room. Light it up here. Get on the little propeller here. Once it gets to a certain height, we can roll off, and there you go. We're across the room. Very cool strat
Nice,
there.
pro gaming.
All right, next, we're going to do this a little bit out of order here. This right here, this is the one hard required use of ice arrows in the rando. There's no way in the standard rule set to get up to this ledge without using ice arrows. So that's the reason why we hard require ice arrows. There's going to be another little trick here to get up to this ledge. There you go, very easy. activate that a little bit earlier than we normally would. And so now, the way we route this dungeon is a little bit odd, a little bit different from what you might be used to. Because what we're going to do here is we're going to activate this red turnkey right away. And what that's going to do is it's actually going to have both of these currents activated at once. So I'm going to have to turn off the yellow one. But because I don't have the red water flowing yet, I needed to time that. Because I don't have the current flowing yet, what's going to happen is this water wheel here is actually going to freeze. And what happens when it freezes is it actually just defaults to the normal direction. So the water's still going to be flowing the same way as it was before. And the whole mechanic of this dungeon is you have to activate the red one and reverse the water flow. In order to get back, what you can do is you can void his Goron here, and it brings you back to the last door you opened, which is up here. That's really nice. And as I said before, the water's going to be flowing the same direction it would be normally, until I activate all the red turnkeys, and then it's going to flip because then the red water is going to be flowing in reverse direction. Here I do a little target in the water. If you target while you're swimming and then you bonk, you will automatically turn back to the direction you faced when you were first bonking. So that lets me get up to that ledge early. That there is another example of a gainer, which is just, again, a stationary backflip to let me grab high up ledges.
This game just doesn't stop when you're in the dungeon.
I'm telling you, dude, GBT is so sick. There's so many cool strategies that you can do to make it a lot faster. And coming up here, we're going to need to get the boss key. This is the one chest I need to open in the dungeon. And there's a cool little trick I can do here. This is a little difficult, so if I mess it up, don't mind me. Yeah, no, didn't get the momentum I needed. It's fine. Luckily, it's fairly easily repeatable. An angle here. There we go. So you might, even casually, a lot of people I think figured out that you can just like plop some ice arrows down on the water, and then you can jump and grab the ledge that way and skip the mini boss. That is just a much faster way of doing the exact same thing to get the boss key. So now this is the last little like red turnkey that you need to activate. And once I do this, the flow of the water in the entire dungeon is going to be reversed, and I can progress on to the end of the end of the dungeon here. This is going to be what I call a bomb long jump, which is essentially when a bomb explodes when you're right on an edge. It'll push you and give you a ton of momentum so that you can jump really, really long distances. Another Goron Void to put me back here. Again, it puts me to the last door I opened, which is right where I need to be. You'll notice the water is flowing the opposite direction now. And so this is going to be a trick called Iceless. Just skip using the ice arrows to stop this room. Messed it up the first time, but luckily there's a fairly easy backup here. There we go. There. Ah, I got the glitchy ledge grab. Yeah, if you grab the ledge right at the corner there, you get a glitchy ledge grab and it just shoves you all the way back to the bottom. It's fine. We can try it again.
The janky ledge collision can work with us or against us in this game.
But there we go. Third try, I got it. So that skips. Obviously, there's a whole cutscene of like freezing the water and then stopping the water wheel. We get to skip all that. This skips using fire arrows. You notice I don't have fire arrows yet. This jump right here really sucks. I'm gonna try it once, and if I fail it, there's a backup I have. I got it. Nice. That just gets us up here without having to activate the seesaws with fire arrows. I need you to stay there. Great. Okay. This here is just a little dip along this fence here so that I can get up here. Again, no need for fire arrows in that room. You can just skip everything. And that is essentially everything in GBT. Very, very fast dungeon when you know all the little like strats to skip all the you know, optional fluff.
Yeah, that was solid.
Yeah, the only thing I really messed up was the one boss key skip and messing up Iceless, but I got to show off everything I wanted to show, so. And one little treat here you remember, very early on in the seed, we got the Fierce Deity Mask. We get to actually use that. Not often seen in speedruns or even casual playthroughs, but FD is useful on bosses, which is very nice. You don't even need to get into the water. Yeah, a little purple tunic. Like I said, you can
I have a weakness for
colors.
the purple tunics in this. They always look they look like elegant. They're nice.
Yeah. How long? So GBT optimally, if you do those strats, takes around 6 minutes to do, not including the boss. Sometimes if guys are on an angle, you can be kind of weird with FD beams, but luckily you can usually orient yourself and angle yourself so you can hit it. Yeah, FD makes that boss a complete joke. So.
Great, now we get to see what song comes up.
I really hope it's Sonata. Oh, Gibdo Mask. Nice to know that that's foolish.
Ooh.
Means that we don't have to go into well at all. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, the well is one of the more annoying locations in the game. It's
my least favorite.
Vanilla
I hate
O.
it so much.
Yeah, it's vanilla O.
When I play, I always just junk the well. I have no shame.
You know it's bad if Gothic, who does all of the sanity, is like, no, not the well.
Keep that garbage out of here.
Exactly. No, I have no shame in junking a bunch of stuff that's just like not fun to do.
There definitely are quite a bit of lengthy checks in this game.
Yeah. Well, it's more just like the annoying bottle ones. Like, you can be expected to do well with like just one bottle, right? One or two.
Yes. One bottle is all you need in order to clear out the well.
I jumped Zora eggs too, another annoying bottle thing that I just don't want to have to backtrack a ton for.
I really don't want to isolate this, so I'm gonna get this now. I peeked that earlier in the seed. Oh. I peeked it earlier in the seed, I just don't want to orphan that. It only is valid for one check because we know seahorses are nothing, but I'm gonna do the rest of just clear out the rest of the west here. Again, I don't want to isolate this for too long, and then I'll start going towards the Way of the Hero areas that I have.
So you've just got the 2 Pinnacle Rock chests and then sewers, right?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
That's all that's left.
Yeah, we got a hint that said the seahorse check is dead, so we just have to go in, peek here, and grab the 2 chests that are behind the eels.
Yeah, and again, there's peaks for both of them, so you don't even need to kill the eels to know if the chests are required or not. Oh, okay. My controller's been doing this weird thing where, like, sometimes I'll input left and the left input just doesn't happen. It hasn't been bothering me too much, but it's becoming more and more of a problem. I do have a backup controller if it does act up more and more, but good to know 2 days before I have my next tournament race, you know? Generally something I'd like to...
Always feels bad when something with the GameCube controller acts up.
Yeah. Oh, okay, that's a big chest there.
Oh, nice.
Let's see what's in here.
Is backwalking faster than swimming?
Yeah, if you're already on the ground, then backwalking is way better.
Okay.
Really?
Yep. Just to get to those chests.
I don't know that. Okay, just spawn bag upgrade though.
And it's because for a distance like that, the startup of the swim makes it so it's slower.
Makes sense. He does this little like whirly thing or whatever first.
Ran out of magic, so I have to kill the eels.
This is another thing that comes up in MMR support a lot. You can stand on the ledge of this and just kill them with boomerangs.
Yep.
That's how I did it as a kid. I didn't really know how the magic like thing worked. Like I didn't know it did damage. So I would always stand there and shoot. But yeah, so like it can expect like this can be where your magic is. It can expect that. We got postman hat. That's like one thing. Whenever you're back at Clocktown.
Yep, just check any of the post boxes.
Yeah.
Thankfully, there's a couple things you get locked out of after you clear GBT. Thankfully, Pirate's Fortress is not one of them. notice there's the boat there. And we could do the fisherman game if we wanted to. However, we know it's not going to be anything.
Is stage lights in standard?
It sure is, and that's one of the things that you get locked out of.
Yeah, that's why I thought of it.
Is this gonna work? I might get caught here. Nope, okay, we're fine.
Sneaky.
Because I kind of like rubbed along the corner of the wall there in a way that was like, oh, I might, be slow enough that I get caught. But if you have good movement there, you'll never get caught by the pirates. Here, I could do the little, you've probably been noticing as I swim along that I do like little dives in the water like this. I have to be careful though, because as soon as you surface out of the water, the pirates can catch you. So you need to make sure that you're far away enough from them. But luckily you can see where the pirates are. They're little dots on the map. So
does their visibility go down at night, or is that an OOT thing?
I think that it might be Japanese only. I know the pirates' eyesight is worse on Japanese version. I think the nighttime thing is also a thing, but I don't know for sure. All right, what's in here? Light arrows. We need those. Let's go. Okay.
Ooh.
Thankfully, not punished for putting this off too long or anything. So we are down to just fire arrows and one song item. That's all we need, and then we'll be done with the seed.
So what do you think is in Stone Tower Temple then? Fire arrows or bunny hood?
I couldn't say at this point. Stone Tower, even if it does have bunny hood, it's still like a very good region to go now that I have light arrows. Like, it is extremely densely packed.
It couldn't be bunny hood?
It can be bunny hood just because the Goron mask was accessible without Zora. So yeah, I think that's gotta be the play now. I am gonna go here first though, because there's one other thing I can do. If I do find, oh my god, I have so many bottles, man. If I do end up finding bunny hood, it probably tells me that I want to go to graveyard like right away, because that is still way of the hero. But I can only do one thing in graveyard still, and it might just be bunny hood, so that's why I'm kind of been putting it off. I don't want
Stone Tower. Do you think Stone Tower could have Captain's Hat then? Maybe?
It definitely could, yeah. Captain's Hat for Way of the Hero to get bunny hood in graveyard would be very funny.
Oh my god.
But I mean, it still could be the song we need as well, so. But yeah, the big regions for us right now is just going to be Stone Tower Temple as well as Secret Shrine, which is the mini boss gauntlet that's present in Icona as well. But that is something that I tend to save for after I'm done with STT, Stone Tower Temple, just because it's not progression, so to speak. It's not hard required to do in the seed. One thing I am going to do though is I'm going to check this hint because I'm still missing a sometimes hint. And I'm also going to do Pohut here because this is another thing that once you clear Stone Tower Temple, you're locked out of doing this until you reset. So. And it's fairly trivially fast when you have light arrows and Great Fairy Sword, so I might as well just get it out of the way now. Alright, so like I said, Great Fairy Sword makes this fight kind of a joke. You one-shot the pose with the jump slash. There's a 1 frame here where I can kill the red Poe during that cutscene. Unfortunately, I didn't get it, but you get the idea. You time the jump slash right.
I like the Ganon music for in here.
Dude, I love the OT Ganon music so much.
It's so hype.
The reason I charge it...
That's like you watched a lot of... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I charge a spin attack there because it zooms the camera out such that I can get a better view of which Poe is the real one here.
Oh, that's smart. Big brain.
I remember coming close to the time limit on these, so I do it just with the butter knife.
Yeah, thankfully, there's a ton of things you can find in randomizer to speed it up, but with just Kikiri sword and no light arrows, yeah, it takes a while. The only thing you can really bring to help is bringing Deku Nuts, which do make fighting the pose quite a bit faster, but casually, I don't think you would really know that. Alright, so Stone Tower climb. This is gonna be a little bit faster than you normally see. If you've seen this before, it's nothing too special, but it is, there's some clever stuff we do here in order to speed up this section. I think you only end up playing Elegy 4 times total.
Elegy's sped up too. You notice the Link doesn't like play the song again a second time, and the song doesn't pop up on the screen, and the blocks move faster. Like, this is so much better than it is normally.
You can make this hook shot here, so you don't need to activate the third. Get hit by the rock. That doesn't look like it did anything right now. Here's a fun fact. In MM, you can hookshot BMOS. That is not a thing you can do in OOT. That is an MM exclusive thing. For whatever reason, they've changed BMOS so that they're hookshotable. Anyway, now that I touched that switch, it moved one block out of the way, so the other one can get over here. If I get on top of that block, I can play Elegy again to return it to where it originally was. And that'll bring me up to where I need to be at the end of tower. That rock. Just want to make sure you don't get hit by that rock there. It can definitely ruin your day. Fall down and you have to do all that over again.
Yeah, shoutouts to Nintendo for making it so if you're on a block, you stay on it when it moves in the cutscene.
Mm-hmm. So here, there's a little bit of a choice you can make here. Do you want to go into inverted Stone Tower Temple or regular Stone Tower Temple? In Season 4 settings, I think it's a no-brainer. I think you go for inverted first every single time. Mostly because, first of all, it's progression. Like, you need to fight Twin Mold and kill it to beat the game. Oh, nice day transition. That would have been really funny if I shot the arrow and it was... Oh, I gotta play Elegy again, bro. Come on.
Got him.
But yeah, also there are 3 chests in this area that I'm in right now, once you flip the dungeon. And they're just kind of like on the way to entering Inverted Stone Tower. So without chest fairies, I think it's a no-brainer. You just, in terms of the check density, you go for Inverted first. I mentioned earlier that my first ever seed that I ever played, or my first ever race that I entered for MM, was a qualifier for Season 1. And it had a required check on this set of 3 chests here. And I didn't know these chests existed when I entered that race. So, yeah, I got kind of boned there. But thankfully, my tracker told me, it's like, hey, there's 3 chests here. Oh, nice captain's hat.
Oh, nice!
That's why we do. That's why we do.
That's awesome.
Stone Tower, yeah. So, importantly, that is locked by Zora. So... Maybe, okay, actually, now that I have that, I think Graveyard is the play. I think Graveyard might be the play. Actually, sorry, this is gonna look weird.
It also doesn't, that area still counts as stone, like, for hint-wise, there's Stone Tower, which is the climbing area, and then there's Stone Tower Temple. And our way the hero hint says Stone Tower Temple's required, so we still have something to find in here that's not Captain's Hat.
Mm-hmm. And my intuition
if we do
says...
even end up needing Captain's Hat.
Yeah.
There's still the grotto in there, in Graveyard we haven't checked, but...
Yeah. One of those,
that's good you found it.
Yeah. One of those is going to be Bunnyhood. Basically confirmed. Bunnyhood is either in Graveyard or Stone Tower. But depending on which one doesn't have it, I'll just check both of them, and eventually I'm going to find hopefully Fire Arrows, and then we hope that the song in Graveyard is just Sonata, and then we're done with the seed. So we might actually be in go mode here right now.
Wait, Yosher, you can crash by doing that if you shoot the gem on the temple in the day transitions. That would have been, like, terrible, but kind of funny. That would have been funny if it wasn't a marathon.
I don't think it's like a known crash or anything. It's just like, I mean, this game can crash from a ton of stuff. Especially if you're playing on PC, which I am.
Yeah. Well, so far so good. Knock on wood. Just knocked on my desk there.
Alrighty. Oh, this might be Bunny Hood right now. This has been accessible ever since I found the bomb bag. No, that is not going to be Way of the Hero.
Wait. Was that... does that rule out the bow and in?
Don't think so. I don't think so, only because all the bomb bags were pretty late in the seed, right? Like, one bomb bag was locked by the wallet, which was in Pirate's Fortress. That was locked by Zora. The other bomb bag was also in Pirate's Fortress, I think, or no, it was in Pinnacle Rock. Yeah, so. And Blast Mask was also locked by Zora. So all the explosives we have so far are locked by Zora in some way.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm just going to clear out Graveyard here. Hope that we don't find Bunny Hood. Hope that we find Fire Arrow. And if not, I mean, we can chase Sonata if we find it here. We'll jump there. That jump is a lot more finicky than it looks, but not too hard. Bro, the left input on my control stick was like completely died for a second there. Seems to be working again, it's fine. Alright, so we do get a prize for killing all the bats here, so I'm just gonna spam quick spins. Well, there's only a couple left, and then we can shoot the last couple ones. Yeah, luckily, Great Fairy Sword makes this room not too difficult to deal with. Just a small chest. And obviously, Great Fairy Sword also makes this fight a joke. Easy.
Yeah, the hard knuckles are so much scarier in MF.
Yes, they are, for sure. Because the hitboxes were changed, and so their blind spots that OT players know and love are not anywhere near as interesting. We got a song of healing. That could be Way of the Hero, we never know. But that means we're going to need to find Mirror Shield for sure. So I don't think we're done with this seed just yet. Unless we just find Mirror Shields here. But I think what this means is that I could probably start checking healing stuff as well.
Did you peek the Captain's Hat chest?
No, I didn't, because Sonata is going to effectively be my go mode at this point, right?
Makes sense.
So there's a couple different strats you can do to get across the gaps in this room fast. One of them is just to do Goron Curl and then hold left. Very easy, very, very simple and not too thought intensive. However, I'll show off one more way that you can get across here. Oh. This is not gonna work. Let me try it again. I might need to swap out my controller here in a sec. Oh, that's not how you do it.
Oh, almost. You got style points though. That looked cool.
Okay, easy.
Nice.
That's the cool way if you don't have Goron. That's a cool way of getting across. Another recoil flip there to get me all the way to the door right away. Alright, so this is the last check in Graveyard for right now. I'm gonna hope that this is something cool, and if not, then yeah, it's not. So Song of Healing is, you know what? Let's peek that Kita chest. I'm a little suspicious now, but if it's not, then we have confirmation at least that Song of Healing is going to be required. I'm trying to do a setup here, but it's not going to work. You can just recoil flip across these gaps as well. Very easy. You can do a simple C up peek here to do the chest. It's nothing. Okay, so Song of Healing is confirmed. Song of Healing is confirmed. Way of the Hero. It can be for a couple things. The fastest one to check is going to be Mikau here. Interestingly enough, because I cleared GBT, this used to crash. Thankfully, it does not anymore. This was fixed. But it used to be if you cleared GBT and tried to heal Mikau, you would crash the game. But thankfully,
I definitely did that by accident a couple times.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just going to chase the different healing checks. There is Pamela, which requires both storms and healing. We're just going to hope that it's not that. But we have both of them, so be able to get it. See what Mr. Mikau has for us. We don't have Lens of Truth, so that's the one thing that's like kind of concerning is if it's Darmani, Lens of Truth is gonna lock that, but hopefully it's not that. Hopefully we just see like Fire Arrow here or something. Ooh, it's Mask of Truth.
Oh my god, yes!
Ooh.
Dogs.
Dog, we might get a required dog race, which will give me time to soapbox about Blue Dog, my favorite little niche piece of knowledge in this game, but we'll see. I'll go check Camaro first, just because my time of day lines up for it, and then we'll go do dog race just for the stream value before I start checking other stuff. Yeah, dog race is something that normally you can only do on day 3, unless you blow up the rock in front of ranch with a keg, which I think I'm still on the same cycle for that, so maybe it'll be okay.
So which song check are you missing? Like, where's Sonata now?
Sonata is in Iconic Castle.
Right, okay. Ooh, Mirror Shields.
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm just chasing because I can kind of logically narrow down where certain things are. I'm just gonna progress and only check certain things right now. And if it ends up that I need other stuff later on, then we'll cry about it, I suppose. Just waiting for midnight here so that he appears.
There he is. There's our dancer friend.
The nice fade in.
Mm-hmm.
Knows how to make an entrance. This guy is something else.
Just money.
Oh.
I did need money though, so that's nice of him to give. Nice to provide. All right, let's go do dog race, shall we?
Sure. What do I got to get you to do do lemons, though?
Lemons? We need to find Bremen Mask, so if you want, you can...
Oh, it could be on the moon, huh?
Yeah, it sure could. Yeah, okay, so to explain how dog race works in randomizer, because normally it's random, right? Which you would think, oh, it's a randomizer. You'd want things to be random, right? As far as racing goes, controlled randomness that's like fair for everybody, such that like everybody's on an even playing field, is good. So like shuffling items, right, in the same spot. When you do a race with somebody, you want to play the same seat as them, right? That's how you race, because you want to compare how 2 people did at the exact same set of circumstances. With something like dog race, which is uncontrolled randomness, like every single time you do it, it's going to be a different result, right? So what could happen is one person might be able to, get the dog race first try, and the other person is not going to get the dog race for like 5 or 6 tries, and they lose a ton of time just because they were unlucky, right? So what the randomizer racing rule set does is it makes it so Mask of Truth, if you have Mask of Truth, Gold Dog will win the race every single time. So you don't even need to like wear the Mask of Truth and see what the status of the dog is. It's just if you have Mask of Truth in your inventory, Bulldog will win every time. And that way, and it's also, this race is only in logic with Mask of Truth. So it's just something to even the playing field. Anyway, while this race is going on, did you know that it's impossible for Blue Dog to win the race under normal circumstances? However, there is a bug in the code that makes a tiny little sliver of race, like the finish line, extend to this part of the racetrack right here on screen, right behind the shed.
No way.
Meaning there's a very, very small, infinitesimally small chance that the Blue Dog can land exactly on that line, exploit the bug in code, and win the race. For real. That is a real glitch that has actually affected, I think it's known to have happened 3 times. We don't know which dog won, because obviously the randomizer players picked Gold Dog. However, it is my dream to one day spam dog race enough and pick Blue Dog, get the glitch to happen, and then get Blue Dog to win the race. If you guys want more information on that, I have a YouTube video on my YouTube channel. Just look up Video James Blue Dog. You'll find it. I have a video explaining the whole bug, why it happens, and how we can get Blue Dog to win.
Did you ever do the math on that? Like what's the percentage of that actually working?
There's no realistic way to do the math. It's just, you just have to hope that you get lucky. Yeah, here's Pamela. This is one of the biggest meme checks in the game. This is the only check in the game that is locked by Song of Storms. This is the only reason we ever have to use Song of Storms. And even then, we also need healing to actually get the item. So it's like, it's a huge meme in the racing community. So if it's Pamela here, that's gonna be talked about for eons.
Yeah, I usually play with that check turned off, so
Yeah.
I'm kind of excited. This is like one of the most heartwarming little segments. I guess maybe heartwarming is the wrong word.
It's heartwarming after. It's nightmare-inducing at the beginning.
Yeah. And if it's not this, then I went a little bit too early here.
Oh, busted.
Touch the little run she does.
If it's not this, we need to get Lens of Truth, unfortunately. So we're gonna have to keep hunting for it. Thankfully, there's not a ton of stuff left in the game for me to do. There we go.
Could you, in theory, instead of Mask of Truth, just get fire arrows and get springtime? Because you can go up the sideway. Or I guess if it's like the snow's melted, you can climb the thing without, like, you can see.
You still need Lens.
You see the ladder?
You still need Lens to see Darmani.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't just play it under him. Gotcha. Forgot about that.
All right. What does Pamela have? It's a mirror shield.
Yeah,
Hooray!
let's go!
All right.
Let's go.
Convenient up here, now you can go get Sonata.
We cannot, because that song chip is
fire arrows.
also locked by fire arrows. So now we are looking for just fire arrows. And we only have one Way of the Hero location left, which is Stone Tower Temple. And it might just be Bunny Hood there. However, it is by far my most dense location remaining in the game. So I'm absolutely going there before anything else. And then I'll probably do Shrine. And if it's not one of those 2 locations, I'll be very sad. Thankfully, though,
that's the point where you're asking, okay, what did I forget?
Yeah. But yeah, thankfully, there's not a ton left in the game. So after I'm done with Stone Tower Temple and Secret Shrine, it's just going to be like a couple extra like supplementary things, and then we'll be done.
I will be right back in like 2 minutes. Just gonna use the washroom here.
Good luck.
See you soon.
Thank you.
Yes, good luck. Have fun. All right. This time we're not getting trolled by the day transition. That was so funny.
Thankfully.
That happened.
Yeah.
Like right as you're aiming the light arrows.
I had the right angle and everything, man. It's makes me so sad.
Yeah, no doubt that's going in the highlights.
Oops. Don't put that one in the highlights.
We're not going to worry about that one, though.
There is actually...
Stone Tower's interesting.
Yeah. There's a couple of cool things you do here. There's one, probably my favorite trick in Randomizer is coming up in just a little bit here. Also, yeah, you can cycle through arrows by pressing the R button, which is very nice. Very nice randomizer, quality of life thing. The first thing we can do here is do a bomb recoil here, using the updraft and get all the way over here.
Oh, that was so sick. That was incredible.
Very cool. Oh, that's a big one. All right, let's see that bunny hood, shall we? Can't wait.
Very likely both of them are up here, but that's nice.
Ooh.
Oh, the lens of truth.
No longer really applicable, but still nice to have, I suppose. All right, so here is a nice little thing I'm gonna try here using recoil flips.
All right, I'm back. Heard you got lens.
Yeah, line myself up here.
Got lens.
Oh, didn't time the recoil flip in time. It's fine. Try this again.
Yeah. The cool thing about inverted stone towers, you can see a lot of the chests of our just stone tower in general. Is you can see a lot of chests that are on one side of the dungeon, inverted or uninverted, from the other side. It's like, okay, you know, we could just check that off, even though they're kind of like two separate dungeons.
Doing a hot controller swap here. I'm getting annoyed with this little control issue. It's fine.
Another thing that, like, I got confused by this dungeon, like, the first time I ever did it, because, like, I assumed, like, the whole temple flipped. So, like, left became right, right became left.
No,
but the
just
way
inverts.
it actually works is each individual room flips. So the rooms are still placed where they are. So if you go left, that's the same room that was left, inverted or uninverted.
So
It doesn't make any sense, but yeah.
explain what we're gonna do here. There is like this kind of like section you do here. You go up like over to this area over here, and then you do a bunch of rooms where you like flip the individual rooms upside down and stuff. They're really long and really time consuming. There's like a whiz robe fight. There's a ton of like stuff you don't need to do. Thankfully, this alcove exists, and it lets you get to a later part in the dungeon. We want to be going over, well, can't really see it, but there's like a little ledge down there that brings us to the boss key, right? So there's a trick you can do called Early Igor, which in glitchless looks like this. Little jump slash here gets you down to the ledge, and then what you would do is you would shoot the Igor from here with precise light arrows and kill it that way. Go get the boss key, come back here, and then you would hookshot the chest that spawns. That's really boring, and I'm not going to do that. I'm going to show you a much cooler method of doing it that is not allowed in glitchless, but it's allowed in randomizer, because recoil flips are not allowed in glitchless. Randomizer rule set is close to glitchless, but it's a little bit different. And one of the things we can do is called recoil flips. So here, I'll attempt to do this here. The recoil flip over here, drop one bomb, drop a second bomb. Oh, I dropped the bomb too. Wait, let's try this again. And there we go. Recoil off the second bomb that kills the Igor, and we recoil flip down to the ledge that I got to before.
Nice. Like how you bait him into just punching a bomb like in its face.
Next, now we're gonna go do Gomez, which with Great Fairy Sword is extremely trivial. Alright, he's just not gonna bother us.
Yeah, that's good. The bubble, if you get hit, 1 minute, you can't use your sword.
Cool little strat.
You can use the
here.
Great Fairy Sword, yeah.
You can damage Gomez a second time after the first with a little quick spin like that, and then the fight is extremely fast.
Nice. Wish you could pick up his scythe and like use it, like in Wind Waker.
If
You
only.
can just steal
Yeah.
the swords after.
Yeah, that's a cool little feature.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever used it that much playing Wind Waker, but like it's cool.
Yeah, definitely. Sort of the entrance here, and then there's another little strat I can do to get to the other side of the dungeon. There is one chest I need to check, and getting back up to the bridge is just a little bit faster this way, so I'm gonna do it like this. Little spot I stand on here, line up the camera like that, he'll drop a bomb, line this up, and then we can get over to this ledge. Very easy.
Thanks. First try.
That is a trick that, like, when Spike was playing MMR, guess something was wrong with like his controller settings, like him doing like ESS turns like that was just not working, giving him the right angle. I have probably watched Spike try it and practice that trick for like 3 hours total, something like a long time, and he did nail it at the GDQ big stage, which is good. All that practice did pay off.
Where it counts.
Because the chest on the bridge is small, I have to do that little trick there to get up on the ledge so that I can hookshot it. It's just one of the consequences of updating the chest models so that they reflect what items inside. So I haven't gotten anything in Stone Tower Temple yet, but there's still the whole uninverted side left for me to do. So
yeah, it's still possible. It's just on the boss itself.
Yeah. Once I kill Twin Mold.
Didn't you get Lens though?
I did get Lens, but like I'm very suspicious of that being the actual answer to this puzzle here. Dude, what if it's just like, imagine if it's just like, I need to get gold dust for Bunny Hood on Smithy 2. That would be awesome. Very funny, very base of the seed. Alright, so once again, Fierce DD Mask makes this boss kind of a joke. There is a one...
I guess you don't have giants. Most people who play MMR do not use giants. You either use FD or you just shoot it with the bow. Yeah, if you're good at aiming, then shooting arrows is way faster. You can use the elemental arrows. The red Twin Mold is weak to ice arrows, and the blue one's weak to fire arrows, and you can kill them in 4 shots using that knowledge. But if you have FD, there's a 1 cycle I can try to go for here on the blue Twin Molds. We'll attempt to do it. Just barely missed it, but you get the idea. 1 more hit and they would have died.
Here's the AD.
Okay, they're both down to 1 hit, so... Very nice, yeah. Like I said,
That was one.
FD makes this fight a complete joke. Is it gonna reach? No. I don't think so. I'll just wait for...
Yeah, it speeds up after 1 dies, so it makes it a little bit more difficult.
So the trade-off is that once you kill one, the other one starts moving faster, but it also becomes much less aggressive. So it's, do you want the fight to be like, they're both coming after you, and they're both moving slow, or do you want to focus on one and not really have it bother you that much? There, but like I said, we need to do this anyway, so it's good to get the progression out of the way. And now I can just go into the normal STT.
Yeah, in the scenario where the items were there, it's like, okay, you didn't waste your time doing uninverted first.
Exactly, yeah. There's only like 2 extra things I had to do that was out of the way of normal, so. Alright, now we can flip the dungeon back to its normal orientation. And we can see if we are done. Again, we are just looking for fire arrows at this point. Fire arrows is the only thing left for me to find in the siege before I can just rush to the end. And once I find fire arrows, it's going to be fairly fast. I just have to do Iconic Castle, Snowhead Temple, and Woodfall Temple, which don't take very long. How are we doing on time?
We are, 27 minutes from the top of the hour. We're doing good, I would
Oh my
say.
god. Okay, I see.
We have time.
Good.
We'll get there. It's gonna be the first check non-inverted. It's easy.
Hope so.
I believe manifest.
Alright, so a couple things we can do here. Without chest fairies, this really isn't a terribly long dungeon. There's really just 2 rooms we really need to pay attention to. There is a chest up here that... Just do a little dive here. It is a big chest. Alright, so here's something... You probably know this casually playing this game. The center of the Zora model is much higher than human, so you can grab high ledges just by turning into Zora that way. And there we go, we're done.
Yes!
All right. See, I told you.
Awesome.
I got you.
Nice.
So
I really want to know where Bunny Hood was.
yeah,
now.
I do too. I really want to know. I can look at the spoiler log after I'm done, but now all we have to do is Castle, Snowhead, and then Woodfall, and then fight Majora. And just yeet my Goron off here. Oh, that's not a yeet. We're fine though.
I like how he screams the whole way down.
Yeah, he's a bit of a streamer. I've been playing a lot of.
I thought you said streamer, but I'm like, yeah.
I've been playing a lot of DK64 randomizer lately, and Chunky Kong, when he falls, dude, he sounds like an airplane. It's like, it's so funny. All right, cool little gainer I can do here. I can do gainer still on this new controller that I swapped to. I know I gainer anymore, dude. I've lost my touch.
No.
The magic, it's gone.
Gotta do the weak 2-frame gainer there. Oh well. So what I do, my old controller that I switched off of because it's been breaking for a while. I took the springs out of it. Like, it's a GameCube controller, and if you remove the springs, it makes it so that the triggers are just a digital press, and it's much better for playing N64 Zelda because it's so less strenuous on your hands, right? Like, you have the whole analog
That's
press
a
of
good
the GameCube
idea.
controller. Yeah, so I'm gonna have to take the springs out of this controller too if I'm gonna have to use this one long term.
Gotta watch out for that carpal tunnel when you speedrun.
I wasn't paying attention there. That is not the window you're supposed to shoot, because it's way further away from Egos. Hi, please. Thank you. All right, so here's a
So, just random anecdote. Go ahead.
here's a fun fact about Egos. He is weak to Deku bubbles. There we count. 1, 2, 3, 4, and he's down. So if you don't
Are
have,
Deku Bubbles good on like anything else or just this fight?
I think there's a couple other things that it's useful for, but like Egos is the only real like notable example. But there's a ton of like random boss enemy weaknesses you would never think about. Like Captain Kita, for example, is weak to Goron pounds. It's just like, why would you ever think to do that? Sure, I guess. But yeah, for whatever, if you don't have Great Fairy Sword, then doing Deku Bubbles is a very fast strat. All right, I want everybody to listen here. Listen to the sound that the Goron makes
Yeah.
when he falls down. This is an effect of the randomizer. There you go. Funny sound effect, XD. Oh, nice. Snowball just pushed me
There's a
out.
funny sound effect right there. All right. Good job, Snowball. This is always the opportunity for just like the sickest thing. The nose stop all the way up into the dungeon. One up the spiral. I'm only
Yeah,
like
this is-
20% successful at it. But
I always check
making
it out
look
and wa-
easy.
Yeah, that was good. First try. I always chicken out, like probably 3/4 up, and then do like the walk of shame for the rest.
It's you just kind of have to know there's one little spot that like I would say 95% of attempts that I see fail. There's one spot where it happens, and it's because the camera like realigns itself and makes it so you can't really change directions while that's happening.
Try it.
Here, I'm gonna do something. I don't usually go for this just because it's a little inconsistent, but I might as well show it off here. Just a little like pixel shot you can do here in order to skip a bunch of Snowhead. That's over. Oh, aiming at the wrong spot. There is a torch up there, I promise. It's almost invisible on VC.
I think I can see a pixel of it.
Yeah, you can see like a little bit of the flame. And you can see why I don't usually go for this, because boy is it hard to align this properly. Especially on BC where like the aiming is like notably worse. There we go.
Hey!
So normally what I would do, yeah, I would just go into this room, hit that frozen eye switch and let the elevator take me up. But that's, in theory, that's like, I think 20 seconds or so faster than doing that if you get the hook shot right away. Maybe something to work on. Yeah, notably, again, aiming on VC is notoriously bad. So much so that like the entire Ocarina of Time community started using what's called an ESS adapter just to fix the stick range so that it feels like N64. Those are legal for Ocarina of Time speedrunning. MM speedrunning bans them though because, well, mostly because most MM players started running on VC, so everybody's used to it at this point. We do allow ESS adapters in Rando though, but I think there's like single-digit number of people who use them. Anyway, this is a tunnel jump. This is a way to skip raising the elevator in Snowhead.
Nice.
Very, very elegant little
graceful.
jump slash, yeah. And I'm gonna have to do that again after I fight the Wizrobe for the boss key. Oh, you say both are optimal? Okay, so they're both methods of getting around are about the same. Yeah, fair enough. So fun fact, there are two types of Wizrobe in this game. There are Ice Wizrobes and Fire Wizrobes, and they do take more damage to the opposite element arrow, which is very funny. Not really something that you ever really need to worry about, because most other methods do. My D-pad is having a moment here. Little setup there to skip the Wizrobe cutscene. He does a little cutscene after you damage him enough, such that he like dances around the room, but he is vulnerable for, I think it's a single frame that he's vulnerable for, where you can hit him and skip that cutscene. All right, so here's Tunnel Jump 2.
Not from the other side.
Easy.
Is this really faster? Just like, oh.
Yeah, this is way faster than raising the elevator and doing all the extra stuff.
No, I meant.
Oh, I see.
Rolling.
Oh, the roll.
snowballs.
Okay, yeah. So, depending on how you throw the bomb, you're either going to break one or two of the snowballs. If you break one of the snowballs, then doing the roll is faster. And if you break two, then doing Goron Pounds is faster. So you notice the first time I did it, I did Goron Pounds, but that's because I threw the bomb in such a way that... Alright, so Goat here is the one boss that I don't use Fierce DD for. And that's mostly because there's already a very, very fast way of killing Goat using only arrows. If you've ever seen people roll around using Goron to fight this boss, Goron is very, very bad for Goat. It does half the damage that, like every time you hit Goat with a Goron roll, it does half the damage that an arrow would do. Oh, I messed it up. I messed it up.
No.
That's fine. So what happened there was I missed the first shot, I had to realign, and then I took too long, and I should have side hopped before that, but it's fine. I'm just gonna keep throwing arrows at Goat, and eventually he'll die. That strat's not too flashy or anything, you're just side hopping with arrows and stuff.
Come on, Goat.
I think he still needs like... Trying to think what might be a good thing. I might actually want to knock him down and switch to using FD jump slashes just in the interest of time.
Oh, there he is.
Let's see if I can knock him down.
I like the duck there.
Like I said, doing this is very slow, but if I can just like hit him in the air, he gets knocked down, and then I can switch to FD. And it's a little bit better here. And we can just do this. Easy.
There we go.
All right, now all we got to do is Woodfall, which thankfully is extremely short.
And you can do it with 4 minutes remaining?
Oh, absolutely. I can do it with 1 minute
This is
remaining.
making me nervous.
That's fine. The backwalk, as you might expect, is extremely fast. I think it's as fast. Okay, you know what? Just for the memes, we're going to pick this up. That's the Bomber's Notebook. It is the definition of a meme item because normally in randomizer, like an item that does nothing, like say like the circus leader's mask, for example, just an item that's like a major item, but it does nothing. They kind of have this meme status because it's like, you got tricked by, you know, what you thought was going to be a good item, but it's just this useless thing. Bomber's Notebook is like the ultimate definition of a meme item because not only is it useless, it actually costs you time. Because every time you talk to an NPC with Bomber's Notebook, you get that little text box saying like, oh, this was added to your Bomber's Notebook. So,
I never thought of that.
Yeah, if you find Bomber's Notebook, it is actually the time loss book in randomizer. But thankfully, I have no more NPCs to talk to, so it's not actually going to matter. I just wanted to grab it just because it's, you know, it has that status.
The new version of MMR though, 1.16, is gonna have Bomber Notebook ribbon shuffle.
It's very funny.
We saw a little bit of that during Revan's run a couple months ago.
Yeah.
We'll have to see if like a new racing format pops up, which like Bomber's Notebook completion percent might be a new category, which is kind of what I would see as like an analog to Triforce Hunt in Ocarina of Time.
Yeah. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how runs with that go. It sounds like it would be really brutal, but it might not be so bad. I don't know. I honestly don't know what to expect with that, because yeah, you never really think of Bomber's Notebook like ever playing this. Except as a meme item.
So one more mini boss we gotta fight for the boss key here. You notice that like every dungeon we have to fight at least one mini boss, except for GBT. I did the boss key skip there, so it's just something you have to account for if you have boss keys turned on. So for a large part of like the early part of this year, I was playing Blitz settings, which makes it so like the boss doors are just open by default and you don't have to do these bosses. So when I started playing standard settings again, there was like a couple seeds where I would like continually just not do these bosses and then be like, get to the boss door, it's like, oh, I don't have the boss key, oops. Now I have to go all the way back, lose a bunch of time in this race. But
that's awkward.
It's re-entered my brain as the thing that you need to do, so thankfully it's not a problem in the tournament anymore. What is going to be a problem is getting used to this new controller in time for my tournament race on Thursday, but we'll see how that goes. I'm already noticing things that are bothering me about this controller, so...
At least you're noticing it now and not during the race then.
Yeah, really the eternal speedrunner problem. A lot of this stuff is on old consoles, old stuff breaks down, and every little controller has their own differences.
Dude, GameCube controllers are a commodity, let me tell you.
They are.
I've got 2 unopened sealed platinum.
Oh my god.
Whoa.
How much you selling them for?
I don't know. How much should I sell them for?
Nice little way.
I'm rocking the Smash 4 GameCube controller. Someone on Facebook Marketplace was selling it for like $30. They were like, yeah, I bought this. They didn't know that you needed the like GameCube adapter for Smash, so they got the controller, and then I guess it just sat in a storeroom, so I got like a basically brand new one for so cheap.
That's
like
awesome.
I lucked out so hard. The guy even messaged me after, he's like, I have a ton of people that want this, are you coming? And I'm like, yes, I'm coming after work, please. Give me that.
Anyway, that's Adola. Very, very fast with that D.
Bye.
Goodbye. Yes, hello and goodbye. I'm gonna get ISG here. Banned trick. Okay, I didn't actually get ISG. I mistimed it. But if you spam crouch stabs there, you can get ISG as you get the boss remains. And that's a trick that is banned in the standard racing rule set. So it's really funny to do that because it doesn't actually get you anything. I'll do that all the time and just be like, oh no, I'm banned. But
can it cut open the Deku Princess like vines there?
What's that? Can ISG cut it out? Let's find out. You want to find out right now?
Yes.
All right, let's do it. Oops. Why can't I? Oh, I can't backflip here. Interesting.
What?
Like in the room? Huh.
Yeah, I can't backflip, but I think
That's
I
really
have
weird.
ISG. Yeah, okay, it cuts it
Thank
open.
you.
Nice.
Oh, that works. Nice. Cool.
That's weird. I actually
All
did
is
not
acid
know
shit.
you could not backflip in that room. I was trying to pull the sword out, and the only way you can pull the sword out with ISG easily is just like backflipping and pressing B. But yeah, weird. I learned something new about MM today, and that's not usually something
Yay,
I can say
learning.
because I usually don't learn new stuff because I play this game a lot.
It's the GDQ effect.
But I hope you guys all learned something new today. I hope everybody watching.
Oh, I've learned like 20 new things.
Glad to hear
And
it.
this isn't the first time I've had this on here. Last time I learned 20 new things.
There you go.
This game has a lot of really weird things, especially stuff that would only come up in a rando.
Yeah, definitely.
But that's what makes it fun.
Anyway, we are a few short moments away from ending the game because we're going into the Majora fight. With Fierce Speed, it's going to go pretty quick. But everybody, make sure you go follow and watch Vidya here on Twitch. It's a wonderful stream, full of MM rando like all the time.
I play.
One of the best, and you're going to have some more tournament action coming up. So.
Yep, I'm just Vidya on Twitch, VIDYA, very easy to remember. I'm on Twitter as well, it's Vidya_James. I try to be funny and sometimes succeed. But my last little plug is for the MM Rando community, racing community. We've got our Season 4 tournament going on right now. Check out Zelda Speedruns Twitch for all the information you might want to have on that sort of thing. And I'll leave you guys off with one last fun little fact here. There's Deku flowers in the little floor
Wait,
here.
what?
Yep, there's a Deku flower here.
No.
Yep.
No. Oh my gosh. Why is that?
Hello?
This game is mind-blowing. Like, wait, what does that even hit? Like,
It does
why
have a
would you ever
hitbox.
use that?
You can hit the mask when it's flying around.
Oh, that's like a way to knock it down. Interesting. I knew that was there, but I didn't know it like really could have done anything.
So there's another interesting thing. In this phase of the fight, the incarnation phase, there's a hitbox in the center of the room that only works with bombs. It's some weird like coordinate 000 nonsense. But if you drop a bomb in the center of the room, no matter where incarnation is, it will get stunned.
Aha.
That is something that people found. People found that in like 2019. It's a fairly recent discovery, and it was found because when SRM was found, people needed to find strats for fighting Majora with nothing, because you would just warp to the end of the game right away, which we hadn't really done before in speedrunning. Anyway, time is going to be when I kill this boss.
Banger rap music. Little Yoshi's Islands. Nice. Yeah,
Incredible
GG.
ride.
Good job.
I
Glad you guys
can't
liked it.
believe there's so many flowers in there.
Yeah, it's not something you would ever really account for, but it's there.
That was a
I
good
guess
seed.
now my question is why those
I love the Pamela seed.
Yeah, and I'd say 240 is definitely an average finish time for these settings. And probably a little bit longer, but we did have a little bit of a fetch quest for Goron, and then just I actually, before we leave here, I want to know where Bunnyhead is. Let me open up the spoiler log here.
Yes.
Sure, absolutely. And while
Really
you're
good.
opening it up, Gothic, also streams Rando from time.
I do.
I want to give you an opportunity to shout out to yourself as well.
Thank you. Yeah, I love MMR. I've been playing it for a few years. I play it at least once a week. I've been doing that for a long time. I'm also involved with the Discord community. I'm part of the sport team. So yeah, I like this stuff a lot. I play a lot of alt vanities. So if you want to see more weird hidden stuff in this game, like the Rupee Sanity has a lot of weird stuff. So yeah, give me a follow. It's just Gothic Zelda, all one word on Twitch. And yeah, good stuff. Thank you.
Now, Vidya, hit me with the lore. Where was the button headed?
It's actually pretty boring. It was just a road to Icona Grotto, which is locked by Goron. Just
oh, okay.
Yeah.
So the,
I forgot
the
about
punchable
that.
one. Yeah.
yeah. Thankfully, I did intentionally. Like I knew I was skipping it when I went to Graveyard, but I'm like, I might as well chase the Stone Tower Temple Wath first. But yeah, just
good
thankfully
call.
the Wath did not get eaten up by Bunny Hood, which very easily could have happened.
All
Nice.
right, everybody. Thank you for tuning into another episode of Game Masters. I hope you enjoyed the Rando today. Hopefully you learned something. Like I learned more than I thought I would, because I thought I already knew a lot about this game since I play it. I do the randomizer all the time, but truly there is just a never-ending, list of things that are in this game, and they're still being found even today. So again, shout outs to Vidya James, shout outs to Gothic, the wonderful commentator here tonight, and everybody. Hotfix is not over, even though Game Masters is coming to a conclusion right here. But stay tuned after the break, because How to Train a Speedrunner is coming up next. Have a good one.